The following is an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports.
For the brightest stars in the NBA galaxy, San Antonio's Alamo Dome beckons. It's All-Star Saturday night. A showcase and a playground for the league's top rookie. A stage for those pure shooters. Pictures of confidence and concentration. Dueling from 22 paces. There's one moment reserved for one shot by one Florida teenager for $1 million. And before the night is through, it's the NBA's High Wire Act. Another Skywalker will carve his name in the annals of All-Star Saturday night on TNT. Visitors to this city know this scene well, the picturesque Riverwalk in San Antonio, and reaching 750 feet into the Texas night, the Tower of the Americas, and standing as the cradle of Texas liberty, the Alamo. Yes, indeed, folks, this is a city with a mission, and the mission this week is host All-Star Weekend in the NBA. There's one of the rookies, Antonio McDyess. Check, please. There's George Zedek. Yes, the Schick rookie game is first on the agenda tonight. It is All-Star Saturday on TNT. 35,000 fans packed into the cavernous Alamo Dome here in San Antonio, Texas. Good evening and welcome to San Antonio and TNT's coverage of All-Star Saturday. I'm Ernie Johnson. As always, this weekend serves as a showcase for the very best the NBA has to offer. And it begins in just a few minutes with the Schick rookie game. 16 players in their initial campaigns, from 19-year-old Kevin Garnett to 31-year-old Lithuanian import Arvydas Sabonis. After that, the stage belongs to 17-year-old Demetrius Houston, who will take one three-pointer in hopes of drilling the Foot Locker $1 million shot. Hall of Famer George Gervin has been working with him. The third item on our All-Star Saturday menu, the AT&T Shootout, as the Hornets' Glenn Rice defends his title from beyond the arc, and we'll cap it off with the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk, featuring Jerry Stackhouse and Michael Finley and Brent Barry and a trio of other leapers. That is still to come. Joining us here on our perch here in the San Antonio Alamo Dome is Chuck Daly, the guy who coached the Eastern Conference All-Stars to a 1990 win in Miami. This is a refreshing break for folks, isn't it?
Well, from the competitive wars of the NBA, you get a chance to say hello to your friends. There's a lot of good fellowship here, but there's some competitive elements in some of these contests. But basically, it's a fun weekend.
We'll see some of that competition coming up with the rookie game, and you've seen some guys, some first-year guys around the league. Who's knocked your socks off so far, Coach?
Well, there's a lot of them, and it's going to be a race for that Rookie of the Year. You've got Damon Stoudamire, Michael Finley, Sabonis. It looks like it's going to be a real race, much like we had last year. We had Kidd and Grant Hill basically finishing a tie.
And Eddie Jones really came out of nowhere, grabbed a lot of people's attention in this game 1 year ago. Calling the action tonight in the Schick rookie game, Bob Neal and Hubie Brown. They're courtside. Let's go to them now. Bob and Hube.
Thanks, Ernie. This game, like so many of the other elements at All-Star Saturday night, has taken on a life of its own. 2 years ago, when it replaced the Legends game as part of the activities on All-Star Saturday night, some reluctant rookies played in this game, not sure this is a place they wanted to come be seen yet. However, they found that the peer approval and rejection, the crowd approval, and the notoriety meant something to them, and now we're really getting into where we have a true rookie all-star game with 16 of the very best rookies in the NBA. So once again, it's become one more crown jewel in this all-star Saturday night, Hubie.
Yeah, the thing that you like the most, you have the #1 player in the draft, Joe Smith, second-round pick, 47th highest, isn't it? You have a 19-year-old in Kevin Garnett, a 31-year-old in Arvydas Sabonis. Then, missing here this evening, we have 5 players who were drafted between the 8th and 13th pick. So let's give testimony to the 16 guys out here this evening, because they have had very solid first half seasons.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the game we have tonight. For the first time, East versus West, and an interesting contrast to the two teams. I think it'll be interesting to watch how their styles differ.
Well, you look at the West and you say 5 guys over 6'10", 2 over 7 foot. Very powerful, and they've all had playing time, over 21 minutes a game. So they've had a chance to do their thing. In the East, very quick, only 4 players with major minutes, over 21 minutes a game. But they are smaller, quicker, and all you're asking as a coach here tonight, Bob Lanier, Doug Moe, look, be unselfish, try to play together, don't force the action, try to cut down on the turnovers, because you're really unfamiliar with your teammates. But let's do it, and most of all, have a lot of fun.
And there's a great story in Arvydas Sabonis. He was the last big image of the Soviet Union before the fall of the Iron Curtain, when it was U.S. versus Soviet. He was the 24th pick of Portland in '86, only now makes it to the Portland Trailblazers at 31. He's a rookie in the NBA. We'll be seeing him in just a moment. Also, another rookie, a young man who's only 17 years old, who will have everybody biting fingernails just a little bit later. Craig Sager, fill us in.
Well, we have a Hall of Fame coach, George Gervin. We have the Hubie Brown book on shooting. Square to the basket, elbow in line with the body, ball on the fingertip, snap the wrist on the follow-through. But there is no way Demetrius Houston will be able to duplicate the pressure that he will feel when he steps past this curtain and takes center stage. It's one of the basic rules of biomechanics. When the nerves build up, the oxygen flow is reduced to the muscles. The tendons become rope-like instead of rubber bands. It's what you say, tighten up. Now, perhaps this kid has ice in his veins, and that the Iceman can have him cool under pressure. Let's hope he makes it, EJ.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Sager. And it's going to be something to see a little bit later. 35,000 folks here are going to be standing up and roaring at that kid, hoping he can knock down the $1 million shot. First up, the Schick rookie game. It comes your way next here on TNT.
With Hubie Brown, this is Bob Neal from San Antonio, Texas. The Alamo Dome, 35,005 are in here tonight for All-Star Saturday night. And the first offering tonight, the Schick Rookie All-Star Game. And with the introductions, here's San Antonio Spurs PA announcer Stan Kelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 3rd annual Schick Rookie Game, presented jointly by the NBA and the National Basketball Players Association. Let's meet the competitors. First, the East team, the head coach of the Eastern Conference, a Hall of Famer who's played 14 seasons with the Detroit Pistons and the Milwaukee Bucks. Please welcome the 1974 All-Star Game MVP, Bob Lanier. The trader for the East team, Ray Nogiori from the Houston Rockets. Now the players for the East team, the first check to play in the NBA, the 7-foot center, helped the UCLA Bruins to the 1995 NCAA title from the Charlotte Hornets, George Zidek. This hard-working rookie has added bench toughness to a team with a great history of 6 men. From the Boston Celtics, Eric Williams. This rookie set college records in rebounding and block shots. He's now contributing on both ends of the court from the Atlanta Hawks, Alan Henderson. Florida State's all-time leading scorer, this aggressive guard has earned valuable minutes on a team loaded with backcourt players from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Bob Sura. He was Division I's top scorer and rebounder last season at TCU. Returning to his home state of Texas from the Miami Heat, Kurt Thomas. This best rookie big man, has terrific rebounding and shot blocking skills for the Washington Bullets, Rasheed Wallace. After an All-America career in North Carolina, this number 3 pick in the 1995 draft leads all NBA rookies in scoring from the Philadelphia 76ers, Jerry Stackhouse. This rookie point guard leads his team in scoring and assists from the Toronto Raptors, Damon Stoudamire. And now the West team. The head coach of the Western Conference team, the 1988 Coach of the Year. He had over 600 wins in 15 seasons, guiding the San Antonio Spurs, Denver Nuggets, and the Philadelphia 76ers, Doug Moe. The trainer for the West team, John Anderson of the San Antonio Spurs. Now the players for the West team. He keyed UCLA's championship season last year and has stepped up to a starting role in the NBA this year. From the Sacramento Kings, Tyus Edney. The all-time leading scorer at Wisconsin, this rookie is best known for his exceptional leaping ability. From the Phoenix Suns, Michael Finley. This rookie Timberwolf has been making tracks in the NBA, showing an ability to score, rebound, and pass. From the Minnesota Timberwolves, Kevin Garnett. The second pick in the 1995 draft, he's one of the best rookie scorers, rebounders, and shot blockers. From the Denver Nuggets, Antonio McKnight. He's leading this year's rookie class in three-point shooting and ranks among the top 10 in assists, steals, and minutes played. From the Los Angeles Clippers, Brent Berry. Since moving into the starting lineup in December, the man they call Big Country has been the team's leading rebounder for the Vancouver Grizzlies, Bryant Reeves. A veteran of two medal-winning Olympic teams, he's blazing new trails in the U.S. From the Portland Trail Blazers, Arvydas Sabonis. The number 1 pick in the 1995 draft, he leads his team in blocked shots and is second in scoring and rebounding. From the Golden State Warriors, Joe Smith. The players in the 1996 Schick Rookie Game.
All right, let's take a look, Hubie Brown, at the starting lineups in tonight's game. The matchups are interesting right off the top.
Yeah, I really like the center position. For the people out there, remember Rasheed Wallace at the center position, and then you have Sabonis on the opposite side at 7'3", 290.
Big team versus quick team. Be interesting to see what happens. Let's have a look at the rules. They are different in this game, of course, regular. First of all, 2 15-minute halves, 1 mandatory timeout each under the 8-minute mark, 90 seconds. Personal fouls are counted, but nobody fouls out, so we can see all these players. 10-minute halftime. In the event of a tie, there will be a jump ball at center court with the first team to score 3 points to winner. We saw that last year. Sudden death. Sudden victory, you might say. The coaches. Here is Big Bob Lanier, who is coaching the East, and you could see that Bob Lanier was in charge of these young players at practice yesterday.
Yeah, he was having a lot of fun. 8-time All-Star.
Bob Lanier is coaching the East and coaching the West. 600 wins, 15 years. You just heard the PA announcer talking about Doug Moe. I think the most significant thing, though, you can't see it in this picture. Yeah, you can. Look at the fashion statement made by Doug Moe. I thought it was Chuck Daly. Just my Could that be Doug Moe?
Well, Doug had a great career as a player and in the All ABA, as well as over in the European League in Italy. And then as a coach, let's face it, his one-loss record proves that.
There are the three officials, Ron Oleziak, Mike Callahan, and Sean Corbin, and this game is underway. The West in the white away uniforms. That's how you'll be able to tell the difference. There's Michael Finley, hard to the hoop. Michael Finley, who stepped in to the starting lineup for the Phoenix Suns after their rash of injuries out of Wisconsin. Great junior year, less spectacular senior, but nevertheless a tremendous find, one of the best rookies in the NBA. This is Alan Henderson for the Atlanta Hawks mission. Henderson out of Indiana, of course. Eric Williams to Stackhouse. From North Carolina, the three-pointer from Jerry Stackhouse.
Well, Stackhouse attempts 4 a game, and he's shooting right at 35%.
Michael Finley starting at guard here. Of course, Finley plays the quick forward spot for the Phoenix Suns. This is little Tyus Edney.
Oh, beautiful.
Tip in, Arvidas Sabonis.
Sabonis takes up so much space, Bob. When you say 7'3", 290, and he has great basketball sense.
Sabonis with that rebound. See how big he is, and oh, do we remember the last of the great Soviet Union combined teams with Sabonis and some other great players who ended up playing in the NBA. This is Joe Smith, the #1 draft choice, and you see why.
Oh, in the last couple of weeks, Joe Smith is putting up numbers of over 20 points and over 15 rebounds. He's really starting to come into his own.
3 sophomores out of college have been the #1 pick. As Stoudamire has it blocked by Smith. Magic Johnson in 79, Chris Webber in 93, and Joe Smith, sophomore, #1 pick in the draft. Just think about it. Take a look at the block.
Joe Smith will come right from the left side of your screen here. You're right there. Stoudamire thought he was home and safe with the left-handed hook.
Eric Williams has the ball underneath, but he can't get it past Sabonis. Knocked out of bounds. And the ball is going to belong to the East. I'll remind you once again, if you look at Doug Moe, that the East in the color uniforms of their home teams and the West wearing the visiting or white uniforms. That's how you can tell them apart here tonight. This is Damon Stoudamire and Ty Edney, 2 mighty mites. An Ironman, too, playing a lot of minutes as rookie. Stoudamire.
Well, Stoudamire naturally is getting the minutes. He has the second most minutes played in the NBA at 41 a game, only second to Anthony Mason, who's averaging 43.
Joe Smith posting up on Eric Williams. Eric from Providence, playing at Boston now. Kept alive and knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to the West.
See, Sabonis got a piece of that right up over the top of Rasheed Wallace. He is so big, he has extra long arms, and he has a great command at positioning himself inside the lane.
Antonio McDyess from Alabama, long range, doesn't get it. Finley follows. He can't either. Here is Stackhouse. Stackhouse helped warm Michael Jordan up when Michael was on his return. Eric Williams doesn't get the ball, but he'll go to the free throw line.
Now, Eric Williams is out of Providence. He has a great first step, and he is bent on getting to the rim. He gets to the foul line 5 times a game, which is a lot when you consider that he's not a starter. He is a finisher, and he takes it right to the hole. You can see he's not afraid of size.
How about this? That Providence team. Dickie Simpson, Michael Smith, Eric Williams.
They had a great amount of talent on the front line, and they did an excellent job in positioning himself in the biggies.
Tyus Edney missing from long range. You saw McDyess and his athletic ability. Sabonis' hook shot doesn't go down. Rasheed Wallace battles for it out of bounds. It will belong to the East, and the Big O, the 1961 Rookie of the Year, Oscar Robertson. There's still a debate on, was he the greatest ever? Stackhouse with the lob. It goes in. Not as spectacular as they wanted. The delivery from Damon Stoudamire.
The main thing is that we did not have a collision. Okay.
Sabonis.
Oh, he'll make those. Oh, come on. Oh, you've got to get out on him. The one thing you know is he attempts at least 3 a game, and he shoots at a 36%. So you got to get out and play him.
McDyess with the rebound. What a man he is. He was drafted by the L.A. Clippers, then went in the trade that brought Brent Barry to the Clippers, and he went to the Denver Nuggets. Here's Sabonis. And a foul. Here's the lob from Stoudamire to Jerry Stackhouse.
You got to say, he catches this, Bob, in traffic, and he makes a nice finish. But the man on the foul line right now is just outstanding. He only plays 23 minutes a game. He scores 13 points, 7 rebounds, shoots 55%, and 36 in threes. And when you think about it, 7'3", 290, not bad. He fills all the columns.
How about this here? In about 3.5 minutes, 8 points, 3 rebounds for Sabonis in this game. You talk about a man among boys. He's 31. Again, remember that Kevin Garnett, who's coming into the game right now, is only 19 years old, 9 months. Also, Big Country Reed is going to enter the game. Brent Barry, one of the Barry boys, some great talent in the Barry family that most basketball fans are very well aware of, and a young fellow who played his college ball at Texas Christian and is a senior led in scoring and rebounding in the NCAA Division I. Kurt Thomas, the Miami Heat now checks into the ball game. Barry knocking it out of bounds.
What I like about it in the early part, Bob, is players have been unselfish. Guys are actually setting screens for one another. They're looking for people who are open, and that's what you like to see, and very few turnovers.
And the West is now down by a point, 12-11. Eric Williams with the lay-in. Here's Big Country Reeves and Brent Barry in the slam dunk competition. Punched away by Rasheed Wallace. This is right out of high school. Kevin Garnett with the turnover. Stoudamire to Eric Williams. Held from behind. Garnett said, I may be out of high school, but I wasn't born yesterday.
Well, it's a two-shot foul. And it's the cardinal rule in basketball. Never leave your feet unless you're going to shoot the basketball. Because then if they take away the shot, you can always make the pass. But when you elevate with the idea to pass first and they cut off the passing lanes, it's a turnover.
You just saw a picture of Bob Surratt of Florida State, who's played mainly a two-guard, is being trained as a possible point guard in Cleveland. And Artis Gilmore and Hubie Brown, Kentucky Colonels. What a great basketball team you had.
Well, the year we won the championship in '75, Artis was MVP. And once the leagues merged, he ended his career in Chicago. And his records, Chicago, San Antonio, are just staggering when you think he was an Iron Man.
A-Train Brent Barry. Look at that move by the youngster. There's a debate among John, Scooter, Drew, and Brent as to who's the most talented. I asked Brent, he says, clearly me. Of course, Drew.
I'll tell you, he's having an excellent year since they moved him to the shooting guard.
Absolutely. Here's Kevin Garnett missing from close in. Rasheed Wallace has it knocked loose. This is Brent Barry. Back to the hole. Pass. Michael Finley. Inside Garnett. Brent Barry.
The Barry boys are all like their father. They all see the floor and they can make the pass.
Eric Williams, he is not afraid, you pointed it out a minute ago, to take it to the hoop. You call him a slasher. There's no other word to describe him well.
Well, the thing I like about him is that he's a finisher. He's an awful lot like Finley at the other end. If he doesn't score, he usually gets fouled.
Bob Surratt, Florida State, he played with Charlie Ward, Sam Cassell, and Doug Edwards. Brent Barry comes up with a loose.
Oh, great. Oh, almost. That was an almost.
And the follow by Brian Reeves. They say that his crew cut, Brian Reeves, is the rage in Vancouver. Now that he's starting to really play well. Here's Kurt Thomas. Reeves with the defensive rebound. Out to Finley. Lead pass Barry. Now.
You can see the talent. He can see the floor. He's 6'6". He averaged 21 a game at Oregon State. And the big thing is they tried to make him a point guard early. So he's had early exposure with the minutes at the point guard position with the Clippers. But in the last 2 weeks, they're playing him at the 2, and he is scoring, and he is shooting 48%, 44 in threes.
5 points a night as the 1959 Rookie of the Year. 2 years later, the Big O, Oscar Robertson, almost averaged a triple-double in claiming Rookie of the Year honors. In 1965, Willis Reed began his Hall of Fame career with a 20-point, 15-rebound Rookie of the Year campaign. And with his underhand free throws and his deft scoring touch, Rick Barry was the NBA's top rook 30 years ago.
And as you saw Rick Barry, the Barry boys, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on whether you're Rick or not, look a lot like Rick. And that's Brent. He's the tallest, by the way, at 6'6". The LA Clippers. Here's Sura on the drive. Thomas, trouble handling. 7 on the shot clock. Shot clock hasn't really been a factor in this. Trying to get the ball up to the hoop in between McDyess and Reeves, and that foul will be on Reeves. Look at these rebounds. You talked about the big team, small team. West 10 rebounds, East 3.
You made a point about Kurt Thomas a little earlier, Bob, and that was the fact that he led the nation in scoring at 29 points a game and also in rebounding, and it's only been done 3 times. And Hank Gathers did it, and so did Xavier McDaniel. He had 29 points and 15 rebounds in his senior season.
Picked up in the draft 10th. For Miami now, 6'9", 230 pounds. Here's Tyus Edney. Lob inside. Garnett missed the behind the back jam. You see the athletic talent on that youngster. Remember, Kevin Garnett. Look at Doug Moe. Kevin Garnett, 19 years, 9 months old.
Well, you're going to see him come right out of your picture here right now. You're talking about a great leaper. He's 6'11", with incredible strength.
Kurt Thomas with a foul on Antonio McDyess. Our buddy Doug Collins, who's probably watching right now as he rests up on this all-star break with the Detroit Pistons, really liked McDyess in the draft. Of course, everybody else did, too. Look where he went.
Well, you know, McDyess was picked second by the Clippers. They traded him to Denver. And then the Clippers picked up Rodney Rogers at 6'9", and then Williams at 6'10", who has played terrific for them at the center position. And then the bonus in it all was Barry, because they were hoping that Barry could play the point or the 2 position, and everything has worked out. They've got 3 guys who are contributing. Denver is very happy with the deal because McDyess is going to be one of the true stars in this league for many years.
Pick and roll. It's George Zidek just got in the game from Charlotte. He's out of UCLA from Czechoslovakia, or Slovakia as it's known now. There's the hook that is so reminiscent of his dad.
Now wait, we've seen 2 hooks in this game. One by Sabonis and one by Zidek. I mean, what do they have in common?
Right. Sura comes away with a loose ball. Give it up. Barrett's back. And the foul committed on Damon Stoudamire, who also knocks it in.
Sura almost waited a little too long that time. You like to give it up early, force the defense to commit, and then if he doesn't have the shot, then he would get it back for himself for a layup. Now, Stoudamire right now is just having a sensational season. We told you earlier, he's second in the league in minutes played at 41 per game. But he's also 4th in the league in assists at 9.1 a game.
Brent Barry. Tyus Edney.
Tyus Edney is like a blur when he gets that chance to cross over.
Barry short arms the 3-point attempt. Dice with the defensive play off the back of his head. Go ahead. The score, by the way, 21-19. West up by 2. 8:32 to go. 2 15-minute halves here. This is the rookie All-Star game on 1995 All-Star Saturday night. Yet to come for this evening, the $1 million shot with Demetrius Houston is warming up right near here, and a nervous 17-year-old man, followed by the AT&T long distance shootout, and then the slam dunk competition. Rasheed Wallace inside.
Now that is a beautiful pass, and Wallace positioned himself almost behind the backboard. Fortunately, he was able to make that because he's an outstanding athlete.
The West went on an 8-0 run. Now the East has done likewise. We're tied at 21. Joe Smith drops the 3.
Well, Joe Smith during the year has only attempted 10 of these, all right? He was 4 for 10 in the first half of the year.
You say blur, so is Stoudamire. Rasheed Wallace comes away with it. Zidek gets away with the push and puts back the offensive board. Zidek has 6 points in about, a minute and a half of play? He started a few games for the Charlotte Hornets, of course, who lost Morning in the trade for John White. Sura. Big rebound from Zidek again. He's going to take it. He's feeling it here tonight. 8 points for George. Call me Yuri Zidek.
Well, he is definitely not bashful. And the thing that you like about him is he really has a nice understanding of the game.
Finley to Tyus Edney. Not even close. Sura on the run. Has Kurt Thomas way out in front, but finds Stoudamire on the wing.
7:12 to go, first.
Nice. Wallace. Wow, Kevin Garnett fell asleep. A nice cut by Wallace. Most important, on selfish delivery by Stoudamire.
Entertaining ball game so far. Rookie All-Stars, 1996. Here is Joe Smith missing the triple. Bob Sura on the run. Spin move. Pass is picked off by McDyke, Edney, Finley. That'll warm you up for the slam dunk competition.
Well,
Finley's in it, and he's my pick.
I like Finley from end line to end line. There are very few guys in the NBA quicker than he, and also he finishes. There are a lot of guys who run the break at all levels of basketball, but they have difficulty scoring.
This is pretty. Let's take a look at the Finley dunk on the lob here.
He's been a godsend for Phoenix. He's averaging 15 points a game, and he's a terrific defender, and they love his work habits.
Edney, second round, had a lot of injuries in the Final Four for UCLA, and in the free draft, which dropped him down some. He was the 47th pick in the second round. Kurt Thomas. His second personal, but remember, nobody can foul out of this game because we certainly want to give you an opportunity to see all these youngsters. It's interesting to watch these talented million-dollar rookies, million plus in everybody's case, playing against each other. Smith controls the ball, bounce pass inside. There's Edney.
What I like this evening so far is any cutter who's cut through the lane and open, the players that have been delivering the pass, and you love to see that in an all-star game.
Stoudamire driving past Edney. Look at a foul by Alan Henderson for the Atlanta Hawks. He's had a lot of playing time, up and down, like so many, but he was Indiana's leading shot blocker.
Oh, yes. Doug Moe made a statement last night at the rookie practice. He thinks he thinks McDyke is one of the greatest dunkers that he's ever seen. That's a tough statement by Doug Moe, okay?
At practice, he was trying to get these guys, all his rookies, to dunk after they practiced a little bit from the screen and cut. That's Tyus Edney, and the only one who would volunteer to dunk was Tyus Edney. 11 lead changes in this game. Sura was bumped, and the ball is off target. West leading 32-31. 5:08 to go in the first half of the rookie All-Star game. Everybody getting a chance for a lot of minutes.
Well, with the 15-minute halves, you like what the coaches are doing. They're getting everyone in, and you're out there for about 4 or 5 minutes. Then they come with other players. The two guys stay out on the floor, and that's nice because then they know that if they go to the bench, that they're not going to be there for the rest of the half.
Joe Smith working against Rasheed Wallace. Up and under to Joe Smith. Wallace got a piece of it.
Well, they had many a war in the ACC, Maryland and Carolina.
Absolutely. Barry takes the charge. We're going to talk to Brent Barry, taking a charge in
an
all-star game.
That's right.
Even more interesting is the official called it. Craig Sager, speaking of legends.
A couple of legends from Philadelphia. Will Smith talking to Julius Erving over here on the sidelines. We're going to talk to Will a bit later when he's talking to Jerry Stackhouse. Sorry to interrupt. How you guys doing? Dr. J, sorry to interrupt. What's one of the keys to being consistent? We see these rookies with flashes of brilliance, but how do you maintain consistency over a career?
You got to get the playing time. You know, I think the coach has to give you enough time on the court so that, you know, your errors can be balanced out by your good plays. You just see a guy make 2 or 3 turnovers and then he gets the hook. Law of averages works against him. So you got to get the playing time, I think.
We're going to talk to Will a bit later about Jerry Stackhouse and the slam dunk. What are you going to be looking for?
I'm judging.
What are you going to be looking for?
I'm judging creativity, athleticism, and I guess originality.
It's going to be a big weekend for Philly. Let's go back to Bob.
How about that Michael Finley three-pointer? Now the penetration. We have a 35-33 West lead with 3:55 to go in the first half. And Brent Barry from Tyus Edney. Brent in the slam dunk competition, and they're already giving him a 10.
That was a 35-foot pass on the money.
I want to take your eyes off this game. We've seen some entertaining basketball in the 3rd annual rookie game. What a great idea it was to get these youngsters out here. Here's Rasheed Wallace. Oh, yes, that's on 2. He stepped on the line.
But, you know, Rasheed Wallace has attempted 52 threes this season.
Look at the pass from Edney to Finley to Joe Smith.
They practiced together, these two teams, 45 minutes yesterday. They didn't really get in that 30 minutes maybe of just a little bit of getting to know each other. Here it is, Brent Berry.
Yeah, we're going to show you the long pass. Now just watch. He's right over half court. That is a long toss. A beautiful catch by Barry, sending it down over his head. Now right now in this game, Finley and Edney both have 5 assists.
There's Joe Smith, number 1 draft choice. Joe Smith, Stackhouse, Finley, Stoudamire. Rookie of the year is going to be tough. Antonio McDyess, Barry still in the running for that?
Well, a major point by Dr. J. You need the minutes, because in the minutes you get a chance to get shots or whatever your specialty is, rebounding, shot block. You need the minutes. That's why we brought out at the top, all 8 guys in the West average over 21 minutes. Only 4 players on the East get that amount of time.
Kevin Garnett. Brent Berry. That's from about 28 feet. Won't go. McDyess kept it alive for Garnett. Behind the back to McDyess. Brings up inside.
Well, Kevin Garnett is an outstanding passer for a player at 6'11".
Stoudamire drains the 3. Damon Stoudamire.
Well, Damon has had a sensational year with Toronto. They talk about his minutes, but he takes 4 threes a game, shoots a very high 38%.
Stoudamire with 10 points. Henderson had looked there to play the defense as Finley who takes it away. Finley the other night in the Chicago, the game we had on Turner Sports, the Chicago-Phoenix game. Finley fouled out of the game, but I thought did a good one-on-one job trying to stop Michael Jordan. Did you not?
Yeah, well, you know, the main thing is you're not going to stop Michael because Michael's going to get the shot attempts. But I thought that he was right up in there, and he contested him. It was a home game, and then he also balanced it off by being able to score and get out in the open court and make things happen for his own team.
You were talking to me about Michael Finley from his international play when I guess he was, what, a sophomore?
No, he was going into his senior year. The team that was over in St. Petersburg in a Goodwill game, Michael Finley was just absolutely outstanding because he showed to you the quickness, the ability to shoot the 3, the finish. He gets to the foul line because he gets fouled due to quickness, and then the major key, he could defend even then. And that's what Phoenix is loving about his game, his defensive ability.
Let's listen in to Doug Moe and his huddle over there with the...
That's who we got?
West.
Who did I just put in the game? No, you're in for,
Yeah, right.
all right, let's get a lob for Antonio. How do you want to get it, or what kind of lob you want to make it here? Which side do you want to get it from? Doesn't matter. What side do you want to throw it from?
Now that's the democratic process, as you see with Doug Moe. Let's go now to a dictatorship in Bob Lanier.
All right? We're going to dribble him out. There's a 2-man right here. We're going to dribble the 2-man out to this side. Come over here. Guys, come up here. Set the pick for him coming here. The 4 and the 3 guy go over here somewhere so that you get them out the way so that he has a lane to go. Okay?
Both coaches are trying to let the guys excel. And by going with the lob with Doug Moe, what he wants to do is to jazz up the crowd, let a player with great leaping ability show his power and what he can do. Bob at the other end right now is trying to create movement, and it's really nice this evening because you're seeing guys who have not played together. Last night, let's face it, they didn't scrimmage. They just came out, walked through a couple things, shot around for an hour, and then you expect them to come out here and execute. You know, it's just nice to see the unselfish play.
The only player out of all these 16 who hasn't scored is Bob Sura, who's defending Tyus Edney right now. Talk about the unselfish play. Everybody getting a chance here. Here's Michael Finley's pull-up. Sura kept it alive. Back to Sura on the run. Williams, good ball control, goaltending. Antonio McDyess. The lob to Finley. Doesn't connect from more than half court. 2 minutes to go in the first half of play. I guess that's Doug Moe. You heard him in the timeout over there asking him where they wanted to make that play for somebody to get Finley to get his jam on the lob. They didn't say from half court. Here's Sura. Now he scored. All 16 of these rookies have scratched.
Bobby Sura is doing an excellent job at Cleveland. He plays 2 positions, point and the 2 guards.
The penetration by Edney. You talk about him being a blur.
Well, what I like about him is that he's not concerned about his size. And he has the quickness, and you always look for point guards who are quick from the top of the circle to the other top of the circle. Because the fast break, the completion of a break is just one step at the NBA level. So he not only has that ability, but then if you defend it, he's very quick in his crossover behind the back, through the legs, what have you, and then he can finish in the paint.
Big Country Reeves knocks them both down. Played, of course, at Oklahoma State. He's 22 years old, 7 feet, nearly 300 pounds. Big Country, that was a nickname that came from his college teammates when he took his first coast-to-coast airplane trip. And he came back and they said, "What'd you think?" And he said, "Geez, it's a big country." Kurt Thomas laying it in. 1:20 to go in the half.
The Big Country's making a solid contribution at Vancouver ever since they made the Benoit Benjamin trade and put him in that starting lineup.
Dice missing, Sura rebounding. East running.
Cleveland, Mike Fratello, they're very happy with Sura. They like his development.
Trying to make him into a point guard in Cleveland. That's hard to
Nice.
score. The feed from Garnett.
See, Garnett has talent, Bob. He can run the floor. He can ball handle, take the middle of the break. Now, that was just a beautiful soft pass. He could have caught that, dunked it, and you saw how happy he was when the play was completed.
1-point game. Garnett has 3 assists. Zidek. Edney controlling. Look out from behind. Punched away by Stackhouse. Sura has Zidek and Stackhouse. The lob to Jerry Stackhouse. He's in the slam dunk competition. 48-45 East. 30 seconds left to go in the first half. Finley. Garnett from Farragut High School in Chicago. Long range with 10 seconds left. That's my old neighborhood, not far from Marshall High Commandos.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get any.
Farragut, Admiral. Of course, now they've really sophisticated it up and called it Farragut Academy. Thank you very much.
We have some guys taking threes here, but the old NBA threes, all right?
Entertaining first half, 48-45. The East out in front. The East, the quicker running team. The West, the bigger team. And we've got a nice, entertaining rookie game and another 15-minute halftime coming up from San Antonio, Texas. Don't go away.
San Antonio, Texas, All-Star Weekend, and it's All-Star Saturday here on TNT. Halfway home in the Schick rookie game, only 15-minute halves they're playing, and look at these scores. 48-45, the East leading the West. Everybody, all 16 rookies have scored. The only guy in double digits, Damon Stoudamire with 10 points and 3 assists. Arvydas Sabonis has 8 points for the Western Stars. Ernie Johnson here along with Chuck Daly, and well, we've seen a lot of everything. Some outstanding plays, some interesting coaching in this first half, Chuck.
Yeah, I thought coaching prevailed. Doug to get the lob from midcourt, but entertaining half. Stoudamire playing his usual role. When that point guard has the ball, he could control the game. But Brent Barry, really spectacular passing, and looks like he's going to be a star in this league.
Yeah, some nice passing. Great assist by Brent Barry in the first half, and also he's going to be in the slam dunk contest a little bit later. Coming up after the Schick rookie game, it's the Foot Locker $1 Million shot. There were more than 6 million entries in this nationwide contest, and at random, 2 shooters were chosen. Those 2 went head-to-head in Houston for the right to shoot the shot in San Antonio. So at the summit about 10 days ago, it was Vicky Chalfant. She's a paralegal from Portland, Oregon. And Demetrius Houston, 17-year-old from Fort Pierce, Florida. That's the shot that clinched it for Demetrius. He won the right to shoot for $1 million on All-Star Weekend in San Antonio. He has been training with George Gervin, the Iceman, the recently inducted into the Hall of Fame, George Gervin, and right now Craig Sager is standing by with Iceman. Craig?
Well, he got into the Hall of Fame because he was always cool under pressure. He could always bury that shot. What about your protege? Is he nervous?
I mean, of course he's a little nervous, but, you know, I mean, he's not really displaying it to where, you know, he can't hardly walk. The kid really feel and believe he can make that shot, and I believe he may make it.
Are you going to get a cut of the $1 million?
No, I won't know.
Good luck, Coach. Let's go back to you, Ernie.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. That'll be coming up in less than an hour when he shoots for the $1 million, the Foot Locker $1 million shot. When we come back, last year they shared Rookie of the Year honors. Tomorrow both will start in the NBA All-Star Game. The story of Jason Kidd and Grant Hill, as told by Craig Sager, coming up next.
NBA All-Star Saturday night on TNT is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Much to the delight of 35,000 fans here at the Alamo Dome, neither Doug Moe nor Bob Lanier is preaching defense tonight. 48-45, the East leading the West as we continue here on All-Star Saturday. Let's go now to Craig Sager now courtside with a look at a couple of rookies who really made an impact last year and again this year. Craig?
Well, Ernie, you know, we talked about Demetrius Houston having George Gervin, a Hall of Famer, as a coach. Now he's getting an assist from Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd and Grant Hill, co-rookies of the year last year. In the balloting this year, they combined for 2.5 million votes. That's more, as running mates, than the first 17 presidents of the United States. Grant Hill and Jason Kidd, two of the best basketball players in the game and two of the most popular athletes on the planet.
Jason Kidd is a great player, and I think for me and for him, I think being the same year, being in the same class, the rookie class of '95, and there's a friendly rivalry between us, but also at the same time, we kind of cheer for one another. We want to do well, we want to compete against one another, and the fact that both of us have really stepped our games up and have done well on the court, but also fans really liking us and voting us on the All-Star team, the starters, is really feels good, not only for me, but I feel good for him.
It feels great inside that your dream has come true and that you're out there playing with the best players that ever played the game. And also, it's just one of those things that, you know, you can tell your children about once you retire.
By the All-Star break, early flashes of brilliance are countered by glaring deficiencies in most rising stars' games. But these two had a major impact through the course of a long season.
I think for myself, everybody has to be mentally strong to play this game. For me, it was just, you know, going out there playing as hard as I can. And you're going to have some bumps and bruises, but the veterans will bring you along.
I guess in looking back, man, I can say I hit the wall a little bit. And it's tough when you're playing and you're adjusting to 82 games and your team's not doing too well. It really takes its toll, especially mentally. And that's where you have to really focus in hard and be mentally strong.
As rookies, Kidd and Hill were both blessed and burdened by having their games favorably compared to Magic and Michael. They are now both all-stars in their own right, rising to the next galaxy.
I think what I want to be remembered as in this game is that I went out there and played hard, and that the people can leave the stand and say, wow, I never seen anybody pass the ball like that.
I'd like to get the MVP last year. I mean, it'll be tough with all those. You got Penny, you got Michael, you got Pippen, all those guys like to shoot, and you got Shaq. But, you know, ideally I'd like to get the All-Star MVP, but I think realistically just to win and to contribute.
What happens if you ask Michael for his autograph, and he in turn asks you for yours?
To Michael, may all your wishes be granted. No, just joking, Mike, just joking.
A wrist injury will keep Grant Hill out of the slam dunk contest. He will play tomorrow when the East meets the West, and so will Jason Kidd. Bothered by a bad back in the past few days, but I think he's okay. He had a career-high 25 assists in a double overtime win over the Jazz just the other night. The second half of the Schick rookie game is coming up, and followed by, oh, there he is, Demetrius Houston. We're pulling for you, kid. That's coming up later.
And welcome back to the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, along with Hubie Brown, Craig Sager. This is Bob Neal, the first element on All-Star Saturday night. We have, of course, the $1 million shot coming up, as Ernie told you, and we've got the three-pointer, we got the slam dunk. But here, how about this for offense? 77 shot attempts between these two teams in 15 minutes. I figured that out in my own mind, not Marty Aronoff over to my left here. That's 5 shot attempts a minute.
Well, you'd say that would be 250 shots a game,
Very good.
NBA,
I like that.
and usually you get about 170. But we are seeing some sensational plays.
How about the dunks? 3 of these 4 dunks you're going to see, 3 of these are in the competition. This man is not.
Now we've seen very nice passing. This is a beautiful drop-off to McDyess, who's sending it home. In the first half, McDyess had 7 points, 4 rebounds. Here we have a nice drop-off. A beautiful finish by Finley.
My pick in the draft, in the slam dunk.
Slam dunk. 7 points for Finley. Then we have Jerry Stackhouse ending it. The East, out on top in his game, out hustling. Stackhouse with 7 points. And then we have Rasheed Wallace.
To Brent Barry.
No, to Brent Barry. And Brent Barry just made a beautiful that twister. He has 6 points in only 7 minutes of play.
Yeah, Brent Barry could be considered a dark horse in the slam dunk competition, too. He's 6'6", very lively, very athletic, and told me that if he gets to the second round, he's going to have a Dr. J. Michael Jordan kind of risky dunk. I said, why don't you just try it in the first round?
You have to have something as you're moving along.
Yeah, that's what he said.
In this first half, Sabonis only played 4 minutes. He had 8 points, 3 rebounds, and then Zita came off the bench in 6 minutes. He had 8 points, 5 rebounds.
Left side, left side.
All right, Bob Lanier giving his East All-Stars for the rookies their instructions. 15-minute halves. This is the second half. It's 48-45, East leading the West. The East, the quicker, smaller team, you see here with the looks of Stoudamire, and you see the bigger, more powerful team in the form of McDyess coming down with that missed shot. Here's Finley.
Oh, beautiful. That was beautiful because he had to adjust the catch, bring it down, and then go back.
1-point game. Eric Williams out of Providence driving on Barry. Queen Smith off the glass. Pretty move.
You have to be impressed with him. I'm telling you, he just takes you on. He goes right in your face. He had 7 points in the first half.
Look at the pass from Barry. Tyus Edney smiling embarrassedly as he missed that one. Tyus said his legs were tired. He played 37 minutes Wednesday night. Barry takes it away from Stackhouse, but it's lost out of bounds. And Stackhouse will inbound it.
That was a very tough pass for Stackhouse to capture. I thought he just made an outstanding move to control it.
Barry knocks it out of bounds again as Eric Williams tries to get it in play. There's Brent, the second to the youngest of the Barry brothers. Drew, the senior at Georgia Tech, having a nice year this year. Finley blocks it out of there, but McDyess comes to follow.
Yeah, McDyess is quick. You're talking about a very, very strong body at 6'10", and he's really deceptive. He's only 220 pounds.
Alan Henderson.
I like Henderson's game. He's doing a very nice job for Atlanta. He has to play big forward as well as the center position.
Dice gets that feed from Finley. We talked about big in white, by the way, the West All-Stars. The color uniforms of their home team, the East. McDyess now with 11 points. He is the game's high scorer, passing up Stoudamire, who had 10 at the half. Here's Stackhouse, up and under. Goaltending, down the basket for Jerry Stackhouse.
That was a very nice move. A good call, Bob, with the up and under. He gets the defensive player. Now just watch as he swings out right here. He steps under, but this is good team defense.
Joe Smith, number 1 pick in the draft, dishes it off to Barry. They were involved in a trade. Smith, L.A. to Golden State.
Now that was pretty. Barry faked the pass, and Edney went back door on Stoudamire. Give it up. Nice.
With a layup.
Right now, the East has got to regroup. Stop trying to force it. Just bring it up a little bit and play like you did in the first half.
1-point game. Stoudamire, defended by Edney, pulls up from long range. Kept alive by Williams. Back up hard to the hole. The dish to Henderson. And Alan Henderson scoring down inside has 9. Barry saves it to McDyess. And McDyess now the game's leading scorer with 13.
Okay, with that Denver front line, Mutombo, LaFonso Ellis, and McDyess, they're rather impressive.
Yeah, so is Henderson, 11 for Allen.
I like Allen's game. He's the leading rebounder, leading shot blocker in the history of Indiana basketball, as well as the 5th leading scorer, when you think of the guys who have come out of that program.
16 lead changes in this game. Everything you hope for. 58-57 East. Joe Smith backing it in. And he's fouled by Alan Henderson.
When we went out and did the Golden State LA Laker game, Rick Adelman telling us that they ran no plays for Joe Smith in like the first 20 games. So everything he was doing, he was just reacting to what was happening. He gets 4 offensive rebounds a game. Now, Dennis Rodman is up over 5, but there are very few guys in this league who get 4. So then, once he started to improve his game and get more confidence, now they're running plays for him. And I think that what he has done in the last 2 weeks has just been outstanding. They love his attitude, they love his work habits, and now he's starting to feel comfortable.
And here's a team, as Rick Adelman would say, a team that's had controversy, a team that's had players wanting to be traded, like Tim Hardaway, of course, and arguments over minutes and so on and so forth, and a rookie breaking in. And as Rick Adelman said, he has kept his poise and his head despite the storm clouds. That's a lot to be asked for with a rookie. Into George Zidek. Left-handed hook shot.
Nice. I'll tell you, he has 10 points now in this game.
Smith tipped away by Henderson. Yeah, Zidek, effective player inside this game.
Arvydas Sabonis has a back problem. And I think that what has happened is he played in the game. He has his sweats on over there, and I'm not so sure that he probably will not play again this season.
14 points now for Joe Smith. McDyess has 13. 27 from the two forwards who started for the West. 62-60. Stoudamire kicks it out to Zidek. Michael Finley. In a crowd, gets rid of it to Edney. Penetration, scoop won't go. Joe Smith keeps it alive. Touchdown inside. Jump ball.
Tyus got himself caught in a jam that time. One of the very few times you have seen him force a shot. He got down in there, elevated, and ended up with a high degree of difficulty.
Alan Henderson, Joe Smith will jump it. Edney tried to get the lob to Finley, picked up by Alan Henderson. Stopped by Net, and the jam by Finley. 4-point lead for the West with 10:50 to go in the rookie All-Star game. Sura's alone. West. Edney. Over Stoudamire. Zidek with the rebound. To Stoudamire on the run. Eric Williams was going to give a lob to Sura. Lost it to Finley. This is Garnett. Look out. Brent Barry back in the game. Also, we're going to get Antonio McDyess. And you're right about Arvydas Sabonis. I don't think he will be back. And you pointed out, and we want to emphasize to this, that he's, of course, history of knee and Achilles, but he's also got a back problem now. Plays limited minutes very effectively with Portland, but said he wanted to make an appearance here. It took him till he was 31 years old to become a rookie in the NBA.
You have to compliment him on his career in Europe, and you say, well, why did he stay? He stayed basically also because of the injuries and not as demanding the type of competition that he would have had to take on in the NBA. Plus, he was the highest paid player over there, and we remember him as the gold medal winner, and then a lot in the '92 Olympics with Lithuania when they took the silver with Marcelonis.
Garnett with the jam. Garnett has 5 points.
Well, Kevin Garnett is getting major minutes now as a starter for Minnesota. And you have to like the numbers that he's putting up in the last 2 weeks, as well as the team is playing much better.
Look at that. Barry Finley double-team Stackhouse. Then Stackhouse comes away with a steal down to the other end on a bad pass from Barry. Stackhouse inside Kurt Thomas. 37-62. Whoa. Finley tried to get it to Garnett. 67-62 West with 9:48 to go in this game.
Now, we know Garnett has some hop.
Yeah.
But he...
with his high roof in the Alamo Dome, you can throw the pass unlimited height. Here is Eric Williams. Not his shot. Finley looked for Barry, who cut to the hoop and came back, and Finley loses it out of bounds. 9:30 to go in this game. West by 5. Bob Sura. past Barry in the traffic. Going to be fouled by Big Country Reeves. When you've been fouled by Bryant Reeves, you've been fouled by one of the best.
Well, Bobby Storer out of Florida State, he had just a sensational career down there. The all-time leading scorer, scored over 2,100 points. Then you get drafted by a team like Cleveland that plays slow-down basketball. You are an off-guard. You've played with guys on your team, Sam Cassell, Charlie Ward, who handled the ball, Doug Edwards up court. So you know you've played on guys who are in the NBA. All of a sudden you come in and they say, you know what, you're going to be a point guard for us, as well as a shoot guard.
It's been tough because they have John Crowley's the backup point guard to Terrell Brandon. It's tough to get minutes.
Absolutely.
Reeves with the lay-in. Eric Williams working that baseline.
Well, right now, the West is not getting back. The East are getting a lot of easy anytime they push the ball on the break. Barry wanted a block that time, and that shot was released right in front of it, and I do believe Storer got a piece of it.
He did, in fact, but no call. We have a timeout on the floor with 8:47 to go in the second half. The 1996 rookie East-West game. The West up by 4. Looking for a lawyer or a cop? Jimmy Smith's there, one of the celebrities in attendance, along with LL Cool J, looking the same. And our main man, Shaquille O'Neal, watching tonight, and another celebrity, Cheryl Miller. Cheryl.
I don't know about being a celebrity, but I'll tell you something. The Admiral David Robinson, it's wonderful to have you here. Let me ask you this. You were Rookie of the Year. They didn't have the rookie game. What kind of experience do these guys get out of an event like this?
It's the best. I think the kids come in, the guys come in, and they realize, hey, I'm as good as any of these guys, and I can play with these guys. And I think it gives them a new level of confidence when they go back to their team.
You played on dream teams, Olympic teams, all-star teams. Where does the all-star weekend rank as far as events for you?
Well, it's getting to be unbelievable proportions, but it ranks pretty high because this is the time we get a chance to get to know each other off the floor. We're always beating each other's heads in during the season, so now this is a real special time for us.
All right, David, thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend. Let's go back to you, Bob and Hubie.
Oh, my. Cheryl and David, did you see that jam? Reversed by Brent Barry. David Robinson, Sean Elliott, Charles Smith, San Antonio looking pretty good after the trade with the Stackhouse. Kurt Thomas.
Kurt Thomas, the horse. Yeah, I like what Damon Stoudamire said about this game. They said, yes. Way to finish.
Garnett. Now this is Wallace back in the other end. Bryant Reeves commits the foul. Stops the hoop. 73-67 West.
They said to Damon Stoudamire, asked him the question, are you enjoying yourself? Listen, he said, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm meeting guys. He said, I really don't know them well. He says, stop and think about this. You've got to make the most of this weekend because you might not ever be here again.
Boy, that is a young man who understands, and that's literally possible. The only way back, slam dunk, three-point, or all-star.
That's right. And on the line right now, we have Rasheed Wallace.
Or the $1 million shot, which is coming up right after this game, by the way. Demetrius Houston, a 17-year-old, the Foot Locker $1 million shot, selected at random along with a young lady. The two of them shot it out. He won the shootout and the right to appear here for $1 million right after this game. 7:47 remaining here, 73-69 West. West in white. Nice. Over Wallace. Nice game.
Yeah, he's having a nice game. He has 15 points and 7 rebounds right now. Joe Smith has 14 points and 5 for the West. 5 rebounds.
Zedek on the hook again. Not this time. Garnett on the run. Barry. Edney. Pull up. Tyus Edney with double figures now.
Tyus having a great year, Bob. He plays 31 minutes a game, averages right at 11 points. And the fact is that, he's shooting fairly decently for a little guy at 43.
Stoudamire working on him down among the tall trees. Nice dish to Stackhouse, fouled by Brent Barry. We're talking about Edney. Edney also, with his 10 points, has 6 assists.
Stoudamire for the East has 10 points and 8 assists. Zedek, 10 points, 6 rebounds. Henderson and Eric Williams each with 11 points. of the East.
Jerry Stackhouse, one of 6 rookies from the Philadelphia 76ers to be in the first round, be one of the leading vote-getters, Rookie of the Year. One of those rookies for the 76ers was a young man who was picked in 1973 named Doug Collins. Edney with the drive. Stoudamire shuts him out. And here's Barry on the drive of the dish. Edney. West looking a lot of guard-oriented at the moment. Barry with the near steal out of bounds. 6:39 to go. 6-point West lead. 36,037 is Anthony Hardaway, who was the MVP in the very first Chick Rookie All-Star game.
And then last year, Eddie Jones out of Temple with the Los Angeles Lakers was MVP with 25 points. Penny had 22 points the year that he won it.
Barry to Garnett in the paint. Look at that pass to Joe Smith over Alan Henderson. Joe Smith, that's a three.
Well, people said he didn't have a game facing. He's proving it tonight that he's going to shoot and he's going to make them. That is another 3, and we told you coming into this game that he had only attempted 10 and he had made 4 during this young season.
Yeah, he has 3 in this game tonight. We may be seeing more of that in the second half. Barry gets the deflected ball. West on the run. Smith. Barry's going to take it all the way to Stackhouse. Pulls it right off the glass. And now the East on the run. Henderson to Thomas.
That was a great block at the other end by Stackhouse.
Look at that! Look at that! I can't wait to see this. Stackhouse face-to-face with Joe Smith. And the ball ends up jammed on the rim.
Yep. Stackhouse really gets a piece of this.
Oh.
Just watch now. On the previous one, he also blocked it there. He picked that one off also.
These are youngsters, and they're great athletes.
Right
Average
there.
age from 19 years old to take out Sabonis to 24.
Well, the second oldest player in this game is Brent Barry,
Brent Barry.
24 years of age.
The tough pop quiz. I have to watch you at every
No, well, I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Majority of the guys at 22. Few at 23. Brent Barry at 24.
All right, we've got a 5-point game now. Biggest lead in the game has been 9 points by the West, but now it's 80-75 with 5:28. And like so many times in these All-Star games, there's a lot of fun, making and baking. It gets down to the last 5 minutes or so, and the competitive juices start flowing, and they're looking to win the game. Here's McDyke. Barry for 3. Stoudamire, good pass from Stackhouse. He's so quick to the hole.
The reason why Toronto is so competitive, they have lost a bushel of games by 3 points or less, is his ability to finish in the open floor. He has 14 points tonight as well as 8 assists, and then the ability to break the defense down off the dribble and deliver the pass.
East down only 3 points now with this run going on. They were down 9 just a minute ago. West looking for time. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Garnett will make the jumper, not his shot. The follow by Joe Smith and the foul with 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
Now, let me tell you what happened there. That was a pass. Garnett is telling McDyke, that was a pass. That was a line drive right to you. He's looking for him to elevate for the dunk. Now, they're going off the floor right now. McDyke, they're laughing right now. But, Garnett is saying, hey, wait a second. You know what I mean? Bob Neal is kneeling out here for having a bad touch.
Very flat. Very flat shot. And I'm sorry, Kevin, but I'm going to stay with that no matter what you tell Antonio or myself.
Now, Joe Smith for the year is just having a wonderful season. He's averaging 33 minutes a game. And you look at it, he averages 16 points. He's right there at 8 rebounds. But the nice thing about it is he shoots 48 from the field, and then the clincher, 80% on the line. Reason being, he gets there 5 times a night, and he converts. Big key.
Well, that'll go up. He'll be double digits in the free throw line in a couple of years. In country to Brent Barry. Edney, lob. Joe Smith couldn't control it. Look at those leaps. Here is Alan Henderson.
Nice.
Oh, nice play by Eric Williams. We saw him with Boston earlier in the year, and he was impressive then. But in this kind of game, Eric Williams does show you how much of an athlete he is. The foul by Stoudamire.
Well, the main key is for a player his size that he's out running the wing on the break. Big guys will always run if the player in the middle with the ball is unselfish. And tonight, we're just seeing guys give it up.
Joe Smith with 18 points as he steps up to the line. The foul on Eric Williams. Bob Lanier coaching the East. Doug Moe coaching the West. And we're down here to a 3-point game. Smith hoping to build that lead to 4 as Brent Barry sits down.
You know, we always talk about rookies need minutes. Right now out on the floor, of the 16 guys in this game, only 3 are playing on winning teams. And that is Edney, Sura, as well as Henderson. A lot of these guys on the East are on teams that are, you know, it's difficult to get minutes.
10 on the shot clock. Stackhouse down inside of Rasheed Wallace. Puts it on the floor and loses it. Henderson with 4 on the clock. The left hand doesn't follow. Eric Williams with a new shot clock. And this game getting competitive now. 83-79, West leading. Last year's score was 83-79. How about that? That was in overtime. But here with 3:52 to go, you see how many more points are being scored in this game. 2 15-minute halves, and we're going to get up near 100. Wallace out of his range. Reeves.
Well, Stackhouse made that strong move, and McDyess just sent it back.
Foul on Henderson.
Now keep an eye on this. You know, Stackhouse makes a nice move, but right at there. Now Smith was there, but the guy who put it down, McDyess.
Ty Edney from UCLA. Injured in the Final Four. Hands it off to the Big Country. Lost the handle and follows. 85-79, 6-point lead. Wallace.
Oh, tough shot. Yeah, very tough shot. Caught it, was behind the board, spun himself out.
You know, I said something the other day. This game is in some ways what could be a college All-American team with so many underclassmen playing. That's Tyler Edney knocking it down.
Yeah, good point, Bob.
Stoudamire defended by Edney. 2 of the fine young little men in the game. Pick and roll. Pick and drive, more like it. And the follow. Eric Williams. And Eric has 15.
He's quick. Once you get him in that painted area, he will find a way to get off a shot, a clear shot.
Williams is the leading scorer, by the way, for the East. 4-point game. West trying to build on that lead. McDyess from 17. That won't do it. Here is Jerry Stackhouse coming back. Chance to cut the lead to 2. Inside to Henderson. Tied up by Reeves. Follows anyway. The block. Henderson staying with it.
That was McDyess again. 3-on-1.
McDyess with an easy lay in there. 89-83 West. West, a big team.
McDyess, you get the full package. You get the scoring, the rebounding, the shot blocking, and the quickness in changing ends.
Here's Craig Sager.
Ron Howard in the rookie game last year nearly had a triple-double. Now you're in the big show tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to this. It's a dream come true for me, but I just had to thank God just for being in this position.
What advice to these rookies out here to come back next year?
Well, for one, I just tell them, just to work hard in all season. That's what it's all about. And don't get caught up into the little hoopla. Let's go out and play your game, and hopefully it happens.
Great advice. Let's go back to Bob and Hubie.
John Howard, I flew from Atlanta. He had Bullets had played the Hawks as we flew down here. Juwan Howard, of course, is Chicagoan, and also went to the University of Michigan. I told him I would make sure to take care of his public relations for the rest of his career. How about him? Free agent at the end of the year. Washington hoping to hold him. A lot of teams just ruling.
Well, because he's a hard worker, he gets the job done, and he can play 2 positions, big forward or small forward.
He's South Sider in Chicago, went to vocational. This is Joe Smith. Stoudamire with the rebound. Penetration for Stoudamire. You know that one of the executives up in Toronto really likes his game.
Yeah, well,
By the name of Zeke.
Isaiah went out on a limb. And remember now, when he was introduced, come on, people were not that happy with that choice. But I know things have changed in a big way since the draft.
Yeah, a lot of people were very concerned about that. 89-87, 2-point game with 1:07 to go here, but the West going to the free throw line.
If you make a timeout.
Kevin Garnett, you heard Bob Lanier said, if you make it, call timeout. West up by 2 at the free throw line.
Kevin Garnett, in high school, in your favorite city, Chicago, in his senior year, came up from South Carolina. He only averaged 25 points, 18 rebounds, 7 assists, and 7 blocks a game at the high school level. And you know that in the city league, he wasn't playing against chopped liver.
That's okay. Tonight, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists for Garnett from Farragut Academy. Stoudamire takes the long three and knocks it down. That's a big one because it ties the game with under a minute to go. We're looking at another potential overtime game here. We had one last year. Finley tied up in the paint. Garnett to Barry. 15 on the shot clock. Then driving. Punched away. Good steal. Stoudamire. Oh, the East has come from behind. They were down 9, up by 2. 35 seconds remaining in the 96 rookie All-Star game. Edney on the drive, fouled by Alan Henderson.
Now, that play we're going to see again. This is a great move by Stoudamire. This is a player, you know, with a lot of talent and then outstanding vision. Naturally, Stackhouse can finish.
So Tyus Edney goes to the line with 30 seconds left. The East on a 21-10 run.
For the winners in this game, the winners get $4,000.
Yeah.
The losers get $3,000. In the big All-Star game tomorrow, the winners get $12,000. The losers get $6,000.
Out, box.
Edney. And it's tied at 92 with 30 seconds left. Timeout called by Bob Lanier and the East. Doug Moe, you're looking at, the coach of the West. The West had a 9-point lead.
Right,
and let's listen in to Doug Moe.
Antonio, take Brent. Now look, just help each other out defensively. If Stackhouse is driving, I want someone to be able to run at him, make it tough. They can't make the passes in here, but be aggressive. Don't just let a guy penetrate like, what's his name? Stoudamire comes in and penetrates. Brent, you got to do a better job at going at people defensively. But here's what we're going to do offensively. If they score, all right?
Or you're going to have Allen right here for the jump shot.
Now Bob Lanier.
All right? You got to set a good pick. Do you understand that? You got to get your body on it. The big man is going to go with you. If you can't beat him, Allen's going to be wide open. Okay. He's right there right away as you take a foul. We got, look here, Damon. We're going to run it with about 7 seconds left.
Mike, and you'll hit him out. But look like you're going to make a move and then hit him for the 3. If they don't score, we'll probably call timeout. Yeah.
All right, we're tied at 92. 30 seconds left in this game, Hubie.
Yeah, well, Bob Lanier in the East, they're going to use the play, probably a screen and roll with Stoudamire, and then they're looking for the defense to move, hopefully opening it up for Alan Henderson. Now let's see if it develops. Now remember, we're asking guys to execute perfectly, and this is the first time they played together. Okay. Now he's trying to freeze the clock, run it down to about 6 or 7 seconds, and then make his move.
See the time running out. That's in the game. There'll be overtime.
Yeah. Here comes Henderson and set the screen.
Stoudamire pulls up.
He said, I am not going screen and roll. I'm taking you one-on-one.
6 seconds left, though. A lot of time. Edney pushing it forward. 4 seconds. 3. Edney on the drive. Back out 1 second. They have time. That won't count. Waved it off. Joe Smith hit what would have been the winning three-pointer, and it's waved off, and the East gets the victory. 94-92. Wow. Entertaining rookie All-Star game. Basket gives the East the win. Wave off the 3. It was after the buzzer.
You can see it was definitely late, but thrilling. He ran all the way down the floor and skidded on his back. All right.
Oh, this is entertaining. I'm telling you. Each year this game gets better. This is the winning bucket from Wallace. Rasheed Wallace knocks down the winning
East,
bucket.
baby. Now I'm going to show you how the East Coast rock. Let me see right there.
Eric Williams, Rasheed Wallace there. The East had Stoudamire, 19 points, 11 assists, which ties for a high for a rookie guard. Stackhouse had 15, Williams had 15, Wallace had 12 in a game winner. Smith, 20 points and 6 rebounds for the West, and McDyess had 17 and 7. Entertaining start to All-Star Saturday night. Stay with us. So the East on the last 5 seconds in the game shot by Rasheed Wallace wins at 94-92. The Joe Smith three that would have won it for the West waved off after the buzzer sounded. The MVP in this game, how about this? 19 points, 11 assists, 4 steals. You got it. Damon Stoudamire, the Schick MVP. And Joe Smith, we were wondering if Joe Smith won it. We'd had Joe Smith giving the MVP to Joe Smith, but Damon Stoudamire solved that dilemma. And let's go to Craig Sager right now.
Well, first of all, I got to ask you, do you think that three-pointer was going to go in and maybe your trophy be stolen from you?
Yeah, I did. You know, I heard the ref when he said the game was over, but still, though, anything can happen. And Joe, he played a great game, and he had hit a couple threes. And when he hit that, you know, I didn't know what to think, but when I seen the ref wave his arms, I knew we had won the game.
Back in the draft, some people said Damon Stoudamire is not a true point guard. Obviously, Isaiah Thomas disagreed with it. You've been under his tutelage. Obviously, you had his type of game here today.
Yeah, you know, I talked to Zeke right before this game started, and he just told me to play well. You know, I told the people at Toronto that they had learned to appreciate my play, and I think they have up to this point. I just hope that I can continue to play well for them.
Is it tough trying to lead an expansion team? Would you rather have all-star teammates all the time?
Yes, it's very tough. You know, it's hard to come out and try to play as hard as you can and know that sometimes we're just outmatched. But we come out and we give 100% effort every night, and we've been in a lot of games. So that's all we can do, and I think we're playing well for expansion.
Well, rookie, MVP, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Bob.
All right, thank you, Craig Sager. It was an exciting game again. This is the third rookie All-Star game. First year, a guard, Anthony Hardaway, who's done okay in the league. Second year, Eddie Jones, who's done okay in the league. And now Damon Stoudamire. Stoudamire with 19 points, 11 assists, 4 steals. Your overall view of this game, I found it very entertaining.
Well, this is by far the best of the three that we have done. Better competition, better athletes, and I like the way that they divided the teams up, West and East. And what we saw, big and strong, small and quick, you can play at this level. We saw an awful lot of high wire acts, great athleticism. I'm happy for Stoudamire. He's going in the footsteps of his mentor, Isaiah Thomas, who only won the MVP twice in big-time All-Star games.
You got that right.
It's been a great evening, Bob. The fans have definitely had a delight. Let's hope that the next three events are just as exciting.
And speaking of the next event, how about this one coming up? The Foot Locker $1 Million Shot. This is 17-year-old Demetrius Houston from Fort Pierce, Florida, who won in a shootout after being randomly selected from 6 million inputs. And in just minutes, he'll come out here to center court, George Gervin coaching him, to take a shot attempt for $1 million. You can hear his heart beating from here.
NBA All-Star Saturday night on TNT is brought to you by Foot Locker, the world's most complete athletic footwear store. Foot Locker, where it all begins.
The roar of the crowd has already died down. You can feel the tension in here. Only moments away before the introduction of the $1 Million Shot. Here it comes. Let's go to PA announcer Stan Kelly.
And now, please give him a big hand as he enters the court for the Foot Locker $1 million shot, Demetrius Houston. Demetrius is with his parents, Jerome and Maxine Houston, his brother Brandon, and his coach, the Iceman, George Gervin.
Demetrius Houston defeated 29-year-old Vicky Chalfant of Oregon in the preliminary round. The two of them were selected. You see George Gervin there. Were selected at random from 6 million entries. They went into a 5-round competition with the first one to score 2 points when they didn't tie on the threes, moving on. And that's how Demetrius Houston got here to take the $1 million shot.
You ready?
For $1 million. Well, different than Mike Boban last year. $10,000 will go to Demetrius. George Gervin's best words couldn't help him here.
Now, let's face it, he's not a high school basketball player. He was a defensive halfback at Forest Pierce for 3 years of high school football. He's a recreation player, and they said to him, are you nervous? He said, I'm a little nervous, but I just want to stay focused, keep my feet under me. But, hey, that's okay. He said, with the money, what do I want to do with that money? He said, I have a 1985 Pontiac Sunbird. He said, what I want to do is I want to get a new Honda Accord. Not bad.
10,000 will help him out.
There you go.
And a smart choice there for his gas mileage and all of that. I guess that will be some sort of commercial we'll have to pay for. Here's the $10,000 check. The family of young Demetrius Houston, they're very happy. Nice trip. Great time at the All-Star game. You see Steve Moore making the presentation here, the VP and General Sales Manager for Foot Locker. And Demetrius Houston gets $10,000. One more time at the $1 million shot attempt for Demetrius Houston. Looked good coming off the fingers. You know what all the advice is? All the advice, Hubie, is never leave it short.
Well, you know what? I was kind of surprised because he loves that spot right there. That is the longest place to take the three-point shot.
Yeah.
All right, in the NBA.
In the three-point shooting contest, most of the shots are knocked down right at the top or in the corner.
There you go. And I was kind of surprised that he did not go to the top or the corner. But, he had confidence. He won the preliminary contest doing it that way on that spot. Craig Sager, watched them all day yesterday when he was working with Gervin, and he just loves it, and he made them yesterday. So, but I'm happy that there's a consolation prize this year. I thought that was the most disappointing thing last year was no prize.
Well, 10,000 goes to Demetrius. Here's Craig Sager.
Well, Demetrius, congratulations on a great trip, winning the preliminary contest, winning $10,000. Let's start on a high note. What's it been like for you?
Well, it's been all right for me, and I was just focusing, but just a little sweat that dropped in my face that took me off my shot.
We talked about the practice, but there was no way you could duplicate the tension, the emotion, the pressure walking in. How do you describe what it was like, how your legs felt when you looked around and saw these people and all the All-Stars watching you?
I felt a little nervous, but it was all right.
What were you going to do with $1 million?
Well, I was going to invest in a major business and go off to college.
But now you got $10,000.
Well, I can still do the same. Go off to college.
When you're a little nervous, what did you feel? Were your legs rubbery? Was the hand tight? Chest pumping?
My hand was kind of tight, but it doesn't matter.
All right, well, you didn't win $1 million, but you got $10,000. Congratulations to the family, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
All right, Craig, thanks. I've got a great idea. I don't know if Foot Locker wants to buy this. How about we add to like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, like the lottery, Every time somebody misses, before long, you got 10 million. Nobody's heart could stand it. It's been fun the first half. Dick Stockton, Danny Ainge going to step in here in just a moment to bring you the three-point shootout and also the slam dunk. But how about the rookie game? Stoudamire was the MVP. Williams with 15, Stackhouse 15, Wallace 12 for the West. Joe Smith, who hit that three-pointer just after the buzzer that would have won it for the West, had 20. McDyess 17 and 7 boards, and Edney 14 and 7. Entertaining ball game.
Absolutely. The East, 6 of the 8 players at double figures. Very nice.
All right, we've had a good time here, and we've got a lot more to come on All-Star Saturday night. And let's go back to our main man, Ernie Johnson.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. Funny thing, folks, the practice court for Demetrius Houston is right over the ledge of our perch here. Before he took the court, he drained 4 in a row, and we thought, hey, this might happen. You get out there, you get the crowd roaring, it's a tough moment. A moment he'll never forget for Demetrius Houston. Still to come, the AT&T Shootout. That's next on our agenda on All-Star Saturday. Keep it here on TNT. On All-Star Saturday, we have reached time for the AT&T Shootout at the Alamo Dome. And you see him getting in their last few shots. George McLeod, who's hit 10 this season in one game already. There is Glenn Rice, now wearing the Hornets colors. He's the defending champion from 1995. If you were with us last night on All-Star Friday, you heard Reggie Miller say nobody in this field can stick with him this year. We'll see if that's true and if he can repeat as the champion of the AT&T Shootout. We've had the ceremonial and often touching changing of the headsets downstairs. Bob Neal and Hubie Brown have made their way to the buffet area. Dick Stockton is now joined by the guys who, I think these two guys have shot more threes than Demetrius Houston this week. Reggie Theus and Danny Ainge. Take it away, you guys.
All right, Ernie, I'm not going to say what their percentage was because it may be down amongst the 20s, but we won't talk about secrets like that. I want to ask you, Danny, you know, twice you finished fourth in this competition, and you were in several others. Let's face it, if you were eligible, you'll be the favorite without question coming into tonight.
If I did it for a fifth time, I wouldn't play 96 holes of golf, as Bob Neal claimed I did last time. But, you know, it's who takes it the most serious.
Reggie, let me ask you about the defending champion. And we've had a history. Larry Bird won the first 3 titles. Once Craig Hodges hit 19 in a row. That's amazing. But Glenn Rice is trying to win back-to-backs, and that's been the history of this thing. What are his chances?
Well, he knows, first of all, that he has to be serious. And he has talked to him before the game, and he said he's ready. He's going to take care of his business.
Let me ask you, Reggie, having gone through shooting with Danny this week, what makes this so difficult? It looks like it's a lot of fun to the fans firing away. What are your views of this three-point
Well,
game?
first of all, I know I shot against Danny earlier, and I got tired, and I think guys have to be in shape to shoot 25 shots. It would take them 4 games to get 25 shots up a three-pointer, so they have to be in shape to do this.
All right, Danny's shaking his head, but let me ask you, other than Glenn Rice, who do you think has a real good shot at this thing?
Well, I think everybody has a good shot. I think we got some great shooters in this event. I think Cliff Robinson's the only guy that I talked with that's actually shooting a different type of shot than he shoots in the game. He doesn't have his headband, so he is the long shot favorite.
And he is 6'10", makes him one of the longest and tallest of all. Right now, let's go to the best brother-sister combination we can figure. Here's Cheryl Miller.
Well, Reggie, you competed in this competition for 4 years, so you know a little bit about this game.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. What type of shooter really betters in this? Who really does well in this?
Well, I think the one who has the better set shot probably has the most advantage if you're going to move on. Everyone said Glenn Rice didn't have a shot last year because he was a jump shooter and he used too much legs, but it goes to show you that a jump shooter can win as well. If you're going to move on to the later rounds, it's better if you're using set shots because you use less legs.
Last year you were the runner-up, so I know that you're giving Glenn Rice all his props, but I know you made the bold prediction last night that he's going to win it hands down. Do you see anyone else giving him a run for his money?
Well, I think Steve Kerr statistically probably has the best shot, as well as George McLeod. I think the odds-on sleeper is probably Hubert Davis of the Knicks.
All right, Reggie, enjoy the competition the rest of the afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks, baby brother. Now let's go back to Dick and the legend.
Cheryl, we will allow that only on this instant. So we're getting ready now. Everyone is serious. The AT&T Shootout coming up right here on TNT. Tremendous crowd here at the Alamo Dome for the AT&T Shootout, won by Glenn Rice, and he's trying to make it 2 in a row. Bob Cousy, pretty good with that one-hander back in his day, wizard of a passer. And there is Glenn Rice, who was in the uniform of the Miami Heat, traded for Alonzo Mourning, and now wearing the colors of the Charlotte Hornets. George McLeod and Tim Legler
Clifford Robinson and Dennis Scott on the top row. Dana Barros, Steve Kerr, Hubert Davis, and Glenn Rice are the 8 contestants in this competition. And there will be 3 rounds. We'll tell you more about the rules a little later. There is Maurice Lucas, who played with Bill Walton in that great Portland Trailblazer championship team, coached by Jack Ramsey. There's Dana Barros. He too wore a different uniform last year, that of the Philadelphia 76ers. Reggie Jackson, a man of all sports, going with the beat here. And it's been a great fiesta here.
You can tell Terrell Brandon, this is his first All-Star appearance. He's got his video camera around Dick. He's videotaping everybody in town.
So yeah, these players come out to see all of this, and what a spectacular rookie game we had. And that's really a glimpse of what the future of the NBA holds.
There's some really good players, and Brent Barry, I was especially impressed with in that rookie game. Well, I thought it was one of the best I've seen in quite some time. Really going down to the wire. I could have used another quarter of that game.
Had it all, and Grant Hill, who wishes that he were part of the slam dunk competition, but he won't. He'll be in the All-Star game, and of course Shaq, who's done some coaching of his own, which we'll tell you about later. Right now, let's go to the public address announcer, Stan Kelly.
And now, here are the competitors in tonight's AT&T Shootout. An excellent inside player whose three-point ability has made him nearly unstoppable this season. From the Portland Trailblazers, Clifford Robinson. This sharp shooting guard has led his team in three-point accuracy last year and is among the best again this season from the New York Knicks, Hubert Davis. Success stories in the NBA after spending 6 years in the CBA. He's found a home behind the three-point line from the Washington Bullets, Tim Legler. He started an NBA record by making 10 threes in one game, and he's already made more threes than all of last season from the Dallas Mavericks, George McCloud. He's the most accurate three-point shooter in the NBA history and ranks near the top of the league again this year. Back for his third time from the Chicago Bulls, Steve Kerr. This swingman has made his team one of the most complete offensive units in the league, making his second appearance in the shootout from the Orlando Magic, Dennis Scott. He has set an NBA record by making at least one three-pointer in 89 straight games. Returning for his fourth appearance at the AT&T Shootout for the Boston Celtics, Dana Barros. This season, he's already made more than 100 three-pointers, defending the title he won last year in Phoenix from the Charlotte Hornets, Glenn Rice. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1996 AT&T Shootout contestants. I was thinking that. Right?
Yeah. We have met the 8 contestants, and here are the shootout rules. We'll have 3 rounds, each scored separately. And in the first round, the top 4 scorers advance, and in the second round, the top 2 advance to the final. There are 5 racks and 5 balls per rack. You get 1 point for the normal basketball and 2 points for the money ball. It used to be a red, white, and blue ball, but they've done away with that. It's turquoise, white, and black. That's the money ball, and that's worth 2 points. And, of course, you can get as many shots off as you can in 60 seconds. A total of $42,000 in prize money, with first place getting $20,000. I know Tim Legler could use that. He has been a much-traveled performer. This is his 6th team, and he is going to be part of the first group that's going to be shooting in this competition. And first, let's take a look at George McCloud of the Dallas Mavericks, who tied an NBA record this year with 10 three-point field goals against the Phoenix Suns in December. Had a big game, 33 points in his last outing before this All-Star weekend. So George McCloud will be starting from the left, and on the right, Tim Legler of the Washington Bullets, who leads the NBA with nearly a 52%. That's amazing, Danny. three-point percentage.
Yeah, he's been a huge boost for the Washington Bulls coming off the bench, and particularly hitting the threes.
So they're ready to go. Little tension in these people as well, I'm sure. You've been there.
No question. Legler's had some experience, though. He won the three-point shootout in the CBA, and he's shooting for his new baby, who was induced on February 1st. He wanted me to be sure to say hi to Jennifer and Lauren at home, who couldn't be here. Well, McLeod, he said he wanted to really take his time because earlier, when he was working out at it, that he took too much time, and he wanted to make sure that at the end of his rack, he had time to go.
Legler hits the money ball. That's a big one.
Legler's in a great rhythm. McLeod, he needs this when he got the money ball. McLeod, in his favorite spot, the wing area is the one he wants to can. Right now, he's not doing so well in that one spot. And this is a big one for him. Oh, yeah. That's 6 in a row for Legler.
Ever the record is 19 by Craig Hodges. Legler is not as comfortable shooting from the left side as he is from the right. So this is not comfortable for him, although he hits the money ball. Legler defeats George McLeod with those unofficial scores to advance. Perhaps we'll see what the others do, but I'll tell you, 23 points. That's more than anyone got last year in the first round, and Legler hit all 5 money balls.
Well, you know, they said that 15 points in the first round last year was a good round, but now that the line is closer, it makes it a lot easier, doesn't it, Danny? Absolutely, and last year it wasn't indicative in the scores, but I think it will be this year. Legler had 2 long streaks right there. He hit 5 in a row and then 6 in a row.
McLeod gave it a little rally there for a while,
Ricky. He was shooting it well. This was a good spot for him, top of the key. But when he went to the money ball, he nailed this one. But this is the spot that he really had a problem with, the wing. And he told me earlier that that's where he wanted to nail him.
Well, last year they moved the line into 22 feet all the way around. But no one managed to get 20 points in the first round. But a very good performance by Legler, 23. McLeod, 18. And, of course, both could very well still be alive because we still have 6 shooters to go. Here's Clifford Robinson. 6'10". He's got to be one of the tallest, I think, ever to compete in this. Detlef Schrempf right about that time. Second most three-point field goals, however, in the NBA, going against Dennis Scott, who has the most in the league.
Well, this could be a key. Remember this, that Legler made 23. Now, the first and second guys, if they get real good scores, could end up having to wait an awful long time before they shoot again. Could really pay dividends for them at the end.
Dennis Scott, who has made at least 1 three-pointer for a franchise record 51 consecutive games. Robinson will start from the left corner of the court, and Dennis Scott from the right.
Dennis Scott told me that he was better suited for this last year. This year he's been trying to work on just being an all-around player. Now they want him to be in a three-point shooting contest. Against Portland, the first match, he said the key was to get 3 out of 5. And he didn't get 3 out of 5, but he did hit the money ball. Now Cliff is changing his style. He's going to a set shot. He's particularly a jump shooter. But, you know, Cliff Robinson, I think he belonged in the All-Star game this year. And he has a pretty good attitude just to be here and participate in the three-point shootout. He wants to beat Clyde and Michael Jordan's all-time lows. That was his main goal. I talked to Dennis Scott and said that, Reggie, I'm going to tell you something. Everybody thinks it's a lot of fun, but I want to win this. Because this is going to be fun for me if I can walk up to him after and say thanks for the paycheck.
He's hit 3 money balls. Dennis Scott has. Legler hit all 5.
That's what's hurting Cliff right now. He's been able to hit a lot of shots, but he has not been able to convert on the money ball. Dennis Scott is in a massive rhythm over here, hitting almost all 5 balls and the money ball. The 7 in a row. 8. Oh my, and the money ball.
He hit 4 money balls to Dennis Scott, and Clifford Robinson just said, what am I going to do against this guy? An easy win. And remember, they're not going head-to-head, but Clifford Robinson does not walk off as if he is going to last into the semifinals.
No, he definitely won't with an 11 score, but Cliff did pretty well. He's not as pure a shooter as a lot of these guys. Cliff is a very versatile, all-around basketball player. Dennis Scott right here was in an incredible rhythm. He hit all 5 of these balls and the money ball, and then went over and hit 3 or 4 more. Cliff hit all the other balls, shot the regular balls pretty well, but he did not convert on any of the money balls, and that cost him in the final run. I think the key for Dennis Scott in this is he was really working. He said, I worked hard at this. Last time I came and played in this, I just came and did it. This time I worked at it. I worked on shooting from the left to the right.
Here are the standings so far. Legler with 23, Dennis Scott with 19, George McLeod with 18, and Clifford Robinson with 11, with still 4 more shooters to go. Here is Dana Barros who finished second 2 years ago behind Mark Price. This is his 4th appearance representing the Boston Celtics, and a lot of people think this guy has a great shot. Steve Kerr, who's 3rd in the league right now, holds the NBA career record for the highest three-point shooting percentage. Kerr will start from the right side of the court and Barrows from the left.
I think Steve Kerr's got a great opportunity here because this is his third try. And you know when a guy doesn't make it the first 2 times, he's really worked hard at it.
He's hungry.
He is very hungry. Matter of fact, I saw him in Chicago with the ball of racks out working on his game. He's been on a 10-day road trip. He had 4 solid days of 3 times a day working on this game.
Dana Barrows is red hot.
Dana Barrows is a great shooter, and he holds his day record for most threes in a consecutive game and the NBA record. So, you know, he practices a lot of three-pointers.
Kerr hits the money ball, however, to climb back in.
Kerr said the top of the key was his favorite spot. He's not done well from up there, but he's got a chance to hit the money ball, and this still makes it big for him. Dana Barrows is on a good roll too. He just hit the money ball. He needs to have a strong finish here.
This is a great battle going on right now.
And see, right here towards the end is when your arms start getting a little bit tired. You may not be getting as much lift. And it's important to really concentrate. It's going to be tough for these guys to shoot jump shots to get all the balls done, to get all the balls off here. Well, Steve Kerr said he didn't care if he didn't get them all. He just wanted to make the ones he shot.
And Kerr, who made 4 money balls, misses the last one.
Had a chance to go ahead.
He might have rushed that. There's a guy that is enjoying it, Isaiah Thomas, the boss man of the Toronto Raptors. Steve Kerr had 4 money balls and ended up with 18 points. But Dana Barrows, this was the best head-to-head we've had thus far.
Yeah, you're talking about 2 great shooters. And Dana, 18 should be good enough, Dick. 15 in the past has always gotten guys into the finals, but 18 should get them in. But there's still 2 great shooters to come.
They had to surpass 11. That was the total by Clifford Robinson, and both did.
Steve Kerr had a nice rhythm going. He didn't make the money ball on that particular shot, but look at him. He's one of the guys that looks at the rack. Some guys like to keep their eye on the rim, but Steve Kerr takes his focus off the rack onto the rim and back and forth.
So 18 points apiece for Barrows and Kerr. So you have now Legler, Scott, Barrows, Kerr, and McLeod, a 3-way tie. So something's got to give here as Hubert Davis of the New York Knicks, who is really developing, and of course the Knicks using him more as an outside shooter. He's second in the league, one of only 2 for over 50%. And there, of course, the defending champion, Glenn Rice, who beat Reggie Miller by 1 point, 17-16 in the final round last year.
Dick, Glenn Rice was so smooth in the locker room before the shooting contest. He says, Reggie, it's all about rhythm. If I get in the rhythm, I'm going to make them all. Hubert Davis is a jump shooter, and it takes him a little bit longer. We'll see how he finishes on the last rack, but he has really been hot in the last week of the season. Glenn Rice got a donut in the first rack, but he's warmed up. That's 3. Okay, he's got it going again. Okay, made the money ball that time.
Now Rice looks like he's getting in gear.
Well, you know, he shoots a soft shot, so he always has a chance for it to fall in if it hits the rim.
Oh, Danny loved to be out here.
Oh, I would love it right now. But Hubert Davis, he's going to put my score to shame. Hubert Davis is shooting real well. Danny, I put your score to shame this morning.
Now, guys, 18 to avoid elimination. That's what these 2, Davis and the defending champion Glenn Rice. Remember, this has been a contest of streak shooters through the years.
Right now, Hubert Davis needs to make the money ball. He's out. Oh!
And it looks like Davis and Rice was unofficial 17, so neither one of them will advance to the semifinals.
And you know, you can tell this year, finally, that shorter line, Dick, is coming into play. The scores are a lot higher than they've ever been in the history. Well, Glenn Rice said he wanted to get in the rhythm, and he started off slow. He ended fast. This is a great round for him on this rack, but the first 2 racks really killed him. Hubert shot pretty consistently all the way around. He needed to hit that money ball, though. It was a good performance. 1 shot made the difference. If this goes down, he makes it. Otherwise, that's the $1 million shot, Reggie. Danny, I think that the guys that are jump shot shooters are at a total disadvantage at this. Oh, yeah, this is not real basketball.
So here we go. Everyone who had the 18, the 3-way tie for 18, all advanced. Legler had the most with 23. And Dennis Scott, 19. McLeod, Barrows, and Steve Kerr with 18. and 4 will advance. And we will have a shootout here with McLeod and Barrett. And then Kerr will go. So we had a 3-way tie for 18, and someone's going to have to lose out. 24-second tiebreaker.
I have to think if George McLeod gets into the later rounds, he has an advantage because if you're watching, he doesn't leave the ground when he shoots. He's an arm shooter and set shot shooter. So I think those guys have the biggest advantage. Like Danny said, this isn't real basketball.
Well, we know one thing. We're going to have a new champion this year because Glenn Rice did not survive the first round. It's different when the clock's running down, isn't it?
Especially after you just shot, the team could come into play here, especially for Barrow. He is really struggling right now, and you got to think that fatigue, Reggie, he just hasn't had time to come back. You know, George McLeod can get it going. He did 10 in a row in one game, and he can put it down if he gets in a rhythm.
And George McLeod has advanced. And will go against Kerr now, so the total for McLeod was 7, and Kerr will go solo from the right side of the court.
Well, I think that's really tough when you're going solo. You have nobody over there shooting against. But the good thing, Reggie, he only has to make 4 to advance. So that's true. That's all he wants to do. Matter of fact, if he makes 4, he might as well just quit and save his energy for the next round.
Good idea. McLeod with 7 is in. So Legler, Scott, and McLeod. Kerr needs 4 to pass Barros and become the final semifinalist.
This is big for him after having 3 tries. This is a great opportunity for him. I don't think there's any question he'll do it.
He's halfway there.
This will do it.
One more.
Hello. Okay, Brown. Just wrap, Steve.
He doesn't need any more.
Take your time.
Maybe he's practicing for the next round.
Well, you know, I think that someone should have probably told him, you know, maybe he needs a coach of his own. But that's a part of his strategy. Well, he really slowed down. He knew what he was doing out there.
He ended up with 8 points. Dikembe Mutombo on hand, checking the scoreboard. So, Tim Legler with 23. Dennis Scott with 19, Steve Kerr with 18, and McLeod with 18. Both advanced after there was a 3-way tie for the final spot. They'll go on. TNT looks forward to bringing you the grand prize shootout winner for the 800-call ATT NBA sweepstakes during our NBA playoff coverage. Here are the semifinalists in the AT&T shootout and the order in which they will fire away. Tim Legler will start it off. Legler had the most points, 23. Craig Hodges at 25 in the first round back in 1986. So pretty good performance by Legler, and we said $20,000 would come in handy for him if he could win it all, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely, and he was consistent in every rack. He consistently shot well. There's not a weak spot that he has on the floor, so I expect him to do well in the second round. You know, he's a guy that even in the season doesn't shoot a lot of three-pointers, but is deadly from back there. What a nice shot, too. Just so rhythmatic. Oh, he's got a beautiful stroke. Off to a good start. That's the one he needed right there. You notice how he shoots on the left side of the rack on the corner, and then he moves to the right side of the rack on the wing. So you can tell he's got a routine down. But just check the rhythm out. It's almost, if you can count the seconds in between each time. It's about 1.5 counts between each ball. Hey, and Dick, don't think that these guys aren't looking over on the side of the floor, the other guys in the competition being a little bit intimidated by Legler's hot shooting right now. And they're over there going, oh no, it could be over, guys.
Legler is 8 for 8 in Moneyball so far. Can he make it 9? No. But he's got a pretty good total going.
Well, he's had a tremendous opportunity coming from the CBA all the years that he's played there, and now tearing up the end. This is big. Yeah.
He has missed only one money ball in 2 rounds with a total of 22 points for Tim Legler.
Huge shooting. Oh, that's beautiful. His teammate, Juwan Howard, is pretty happy. I don't know who's happier. His wife at home for that $20,000 inducement or Juwan Howard.
That's a major league shopping spree.
Right now, let's go to Cheryl.
Tim, calm, cool, collected. I mean, no smalls, no frills. You come out here, you shoot 23 your first round, 2 off the record. You come out here, you're not feeling any pressure whatsoever.
You know, it's funny. I felt kind of tight before the competition, but as soon as you put the uni on, everything goes away. You know, it's just you and the rim. So luckily, I had 2 good rounds. I hope I have one more good one.
All right, keep it going.
Thanks.
Dick?
All right, so Dennis Scott has his work cut out for him. He has the most three-point field goals, and he had a total of 19 points. So, tell you, Legler off to a hot start, 2 off the best score in the first round. The highest score in the semifinals was also Craig Hodges with 24, and he had 22. So Legler right on the line with some of the best we've seen.
Dennis Scott is really looking to make 3 out of 5 balls in this corner. He said the corner shots are his best shot. It's the same shot in the game for me. That's the way I want to shoot it.
Well, this guy's as streaky a shooter as you can play against in the NBA. He made 9 in a row in this competition before. I've seen him make 9 in a row in games, too. So he needs to get on a roll.
And also, he's been practicing picking the balls up from the left to the right. You saw as he came to that rack, how he went around to the opposite side. He's been working on this. He wants to win this.
Fortunately, he's hitting those money balls. That's keeping him in the competition to this point.
His teammate at Orlando, Nick Anderson, was in the competition last year. 2 of them are the best tandem in the league at this.
Nick Anderson grabbed me from the sideline. He was in the stands. He said, Reggie, I got to come to the sideline so I can support my man. And he's over there in the corner right now, yelling at him. Oh, yeah. That was huge. Oh, now, he's to the other side. He's shooting behind the backboard. That's a horse shot. You got to call that, baby. You got to call this money ball.
Oh, that's the second round. He missed that last money ball.
And 19 points. There's his teammates, Penny and Shaq.
You know what Dennis Scott needs to do on that last rack? He shoots the ball really well from the top of the key. He always has. But in that corner shot, Reggie, he needs to move the rack closer to the court so he doesn't have to shoot from behind the back.
Well, you guys work with him tomorrow morning, okay, for this competition. And the reaction from Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal at one point. Dennis Scott hit 11 out of 12 shots and winds up with 19, the same total he had in the first round. Of course, each round is decided separately.
I think 19 is a solid number. I'm not sure, but 19 definitely a solid number in this competition.
It certainly puts the pressure on Kerr and McLeod.
So here is George McLeod, who had 18 and won in a tiebreaker as 3 shooters had a total of 18 in the first round. Let's see how McLeod of the Dallas Mavericks does.
Here's a guy you know can get into a rhythm. Barely leaves the ground when he shoots the ball. Again, another person who likes to go from the right to the left, moving around the basket to get to the ball.
Well, Reggie, yesterday in the competition between you and I did a lot better that way, too. I actually beat you going that way.
No, you didn't, Danny.
19 to avoid elimination. That's what's staring in George McLeod's face right now.
He said that the key for him was really to take my time. He said, if I make the ball, fine. If I leave one, fine.
Remember, he already had to shoot an extra round.
He's got to have that.
But see, right there, that ball was a little short.
Yeah, he can't win, Reggie. He can't win right now.
He missed 2 money balls, and that hurt him. But Danny, a couple of shots went in and out. He didn't get the break on a few.
It's an impressive performance. I mean, the guy shot well.
I think he got a little tired. I thought that he was a little short. And because he's an arm shooter, that can happen to you.
17 points for George McLeod, and he's not going to make the cut.
But you know what? It's not like this is a bad performance. 17 in the history of this event is an excellent score. He doesn't need to be ashamed. That's good shooting out there.
Hey, Danny, you were standing in front of the line when we were warming up, and you didn't get 17.
So here are the standings. Tim Legler and Dennis Scott. McLeod with 17 will not advance, and now it depends on what Steve Kerr does. Now, Kerr also had to shoot an extra round in the tiebreaker, the 24-second, when 3 shooters had 18. That was his total. He did pretty well in the second rack.
Look, I don't really think that
tiebreaker one really makes a difference. They're only shooting like 6 balls. If they had to do a full 60 seconds, I think it would have made a difference.
Kerr needs 19 to tie for second and 20 to qualify. That's what Steve Kerr of the Chicago Bulls faces, and of course throughout this year as a member of this fantastic team with only 5 losses, he's had a lot of pressure situations during the first half.
Absolutely, and he gets as many wide open jump shots as anybody in the league with Jordan and Pippen. That's right, he should be really good because I have never seen him shoot one in anybody's face. Needs to get off to a good start here, and he did.
He got the first money ball.
Now, if you notice, not like the other 2 shooters, Steve Kerr runs up on the same side of the rack and shoots from the left side of the rack instead of the right side. It's that kind of funny rotation, Reggie. He shoots the ball with a little bit of a twister effect. Not your conventional pure shooter stroke, but he sure can make them. But he shoots it high and soft. And I think that has a big plus for him. If it hits the lip of the rim, it's definitely going to bounce in.
That was a big money ball, and that rack number 3.
This is a big one, too. Gotta have it. He needed it. He can do it. Looks like he's rushing a little bit. He told me he didn't want to rush. Gotta make all of them. Gotta make this one. Gotta make this one or it's done. Oh!
Steve Kerr needed that money ball to stay alive, but he could not.
You should have saw Dennis. Look at Dennis Scott over there. He's very happy. He knew he was dead in the water if Kerr would have made that. Well, Kerr right here, he knows because of his style, his jump shot, that he's got to rush it. He knows he's got to hurry to get this money ball off. And right here, he hits the one he had to hit, hits the next one he had to hit, but the money ball he was rushing.
Does this count as a 6th loss for the Chicago Bulls?
Again, Dick, I don't think that's a loss. I mean, that is good shooting.
Here's Phil Jackson rooting his man on. So short. Let's go to Cheryl.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. I'm telling you something. You had your boy sweating some bullets over there. Came down to the last one. I know you were sweating some bullets over here.
I'm sweating big bullets, Cheryl, and it's my 2nd time being in, and I finally get a chance to go for all the marbles. Hopefully I can stay hot one more time.
All right, bring it home. Have a good one, Ben.
So, Tim Legler and Dennis Scott have advanced to the finals of the AT&T Shootout, and one of these shooters is going to come away with $20,000 first prize.
NBA All-Star Saturday Night on TNT is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of incredible 4-wheel drives, and by AT&T.
Here we are, back for the finals of the AT&T Shootout. And we will have a new winner this year. Glenn Rice did not get past the first round, and Tim Legler, who was with his 6th NBA team, played in the CBA, the USBL, the WBL, Alphabet Sauce, you name it. Here's the coin toss.
Well, Legler wins the coin toss, Dick, and he elects to shoot first, which I think is great strategy because he's done so well shooting first in the first 2 rounds. But not only that, it doesn't put any pressure on you. You don't have to sit there and watch this guy can all those shots, and your ball gets heavy after you see someone else shooting well.
22 points in the last round, 22 in the first. Pretty consistent. So Tim Legler.
You know, the only thing, Reggie, is I think that if I was Dennis Scott, I would have made Legler, since he chose to shoot first, shoot on the basket he had the shot on. He allowed to let Legler go ahead and shoot the basket that he's been tearing it up on. That's a very good point. There's no way. You got to always make the guy go the opposite way, huh? Legler in another rhythm. Oh, he finally missed the money ball. Now this is where the ball starts getting a little heavy, knees start creaking a little bit. He's got it going, 3 in a row.
He had 9 of his first 10 money balls.
Not shooting nearly as well as he did the first 2 rounds, though. Dennis Scott could definitely be in the running here.
And Dennis Scott is going to know what he has to do to win. That's the advantage he's going to have.
Right. I don't know if he can put up a score of 20. I think that might be good enough. Big shot.
He got it.
Well, the score of 20 is good, but Dennis Scott had 19, so yeah, this is 3 in a row.
Juwan Howard. He is his coach on the sideline. Tim Legler, who was 13 for 15 on the money ball. That's a tremendous achievement.
That guy can shoot. I can't believe that guy.
Well, he leads the
you know
league.
what? I tell you something else. Anybody who's never shot one of these multicolored basketball, it takes some practice, because when you hold the ball up over your head, your eyes automatically go up to the different colors.
Hey, every NBA player that's watching this game right now, if they ever leave that guy open for a three-pointer, they should be taken right out of the game, Reggie.
Immediately.
Tim Legler, 13 of 15 money balls, a total of 20. Now, here's a consistent three-point shooter. He went over the 20 mark in all 3 rounds.
And then that's never happened, has it?
I don't believe so.
No, I don't think that's ever happened.
That's huge.
So here are the numbers. He was 6 points from the 3rd rack, 5 from the 4th, and now Dennis Scott knows he needs at least 20.
Sometimes you get what you ask for. Dennis Scott said, I want to win this. I want to go talk stuff. Now the pressure's on him. What you going to do, big fella?
He's only missed 2 money balls in the first 2 rounds.
What do you think, Reggie? Can he do it?
I think he can do it. Will he do it? I think he will do it.
I don't think he will. I say no.
I say he can do it. I say he can't do it. Yes, he's still in it. He's got his rhythm. That money ball was big. He can get these next 3 racks. He's in good shape. And you know he's a rhythm shooter. Oh, I don't know. But his fate is in his own hands, guys. What do you think?
No, I don't think he can do it.
If he makes them all.
That might have been it. That did him in. That middle rack. That's usually his best shot, too. The one from the top.
Well, he won't get to go talk stuff. He won't get to, hey guys, thanks for the check.
He's got the money ball, but it's too little too late. Tim Legler already celebrating over on the bench. He's going to get $20,000, and he's going to love every penny of it.
That was a present for his wife, huh?
Yep. His wife had early labor induced so that Tim could come here to compete. The baby was born on February 1st. His wife, Jennifer. And how happy is Tim Legler and Jawan Howard, the Washington Bullets duo, as Tim Legler has won the 1996 AT&T Shootout.
It's so nice. It's apropos. New baby, wife, Valentine's Day. What a present. 20 grand in my pocket. I'm going home.
You know, that's just a lot of pressure on Dennis Scott. You know, when a guy goes out and makes 20 and you have to go out there and make 20, that is a lot of pressure in that
Danny, I think the key was what you said earlier. He should have made Legler shoot to the other basket. I think that would have been big.
All right, Tim Legler has won. Rasheed Wallace at the winning basket in the rookie game. So far, a good day for the Bullets. Down the center of San Antonio, the famed Riverwalk. And people have come from all over to enjoy All-Star Weekend here at San Antonio. And we have had 2 spectacular events so far, the rookie game and the AT&T Shootout. And the presentation made by Earl Quenzel of AT&T to Tim Legler moments ago, getting the trophy for winning the shootout. And, of course, $20,000 first prize. And right now, let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, I would say this is going to be the story of the weekend. Tim Legler, you've been in these competitions before in the CBA, but nobody was more thrilled to be here than you, and nobody's going to be more excited to be a winner.
No, not at all. This has been like a quest for me. First of all, just to get to the NBA and establish myself as a solid player, which I think I've done so far this year. And then to get in this competition to win this after watching all these years of great shooters, I can't explain how I feel right now.
Once your name was mentioned as one of the contestants, we're doing some research. I know your wife, Jennifer, really wanted to be here. You induced labor for the first time. You have a child, Lauren's about 9 days old. You're watching on TV. What do you say to Jennifer?
Jen, this is for you. For all the years you've been my rock in my life, and for you, little Lauren, I'll be home after I get back from Milwaukee. We're going to share this together. Thank you.
What kept you going for all those years with the CBA and USBL?
Perseverance, and I always knew I just have an inner drive within myself and a strong confidence in my ability to play this game, and I never let it get me down. But I think, without Jen to be there for me every time I would get cut or get released or I would go back to the CBA, she was always the one that was there for me to tell me that she knew she believed in me and I was an NBA player. So I just persevered all these years, and I believed in myself, and that's what it came down to.
Congratulations, champion.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Go back to Dick.
You got to feel great about Tim Legler. This is a great moment for him. He has won the AT&T Shootout. Dennis Scott was second, and here is how they finished. A total of $42,000 in prize money. And so we did not have a repeat champion. as Glenn Rice did not survive, and most of the time we have had repeats. We have a lot more coming up. The Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk is coming up next here at the Alamo Dome when Reggie, Danny, and I come back.
All-Star Weekend continuing here on TNT. Texas A&M Kingsland band has never sounded better, never sounded louder either. As they fill up the Alamo Dome, 36,000 fans on hand, and we have seen a 2-point game in the Schick rookie game. And then we've seen really a couple of emotional things. We saw the $1 million shot, Demetrius Houston. Everybody really bummed out because he missed his chance at $1 million. As bad as you felt then, you feel great for a guy like Tim Legler, Chuck Daly, who really appreciates winning a contest like the AT&T Shootout.
Well, he's making 250 G's this year. That $20,000 check will really help out his pocket. But beyond that, how about the fact that the two coaches coaching this league came from the CBA, George Karl and Phil Jackson, so it's CBA night.
More and more we see the influence of the CBA in this league. Next up now, we've got the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk. And in the 12 years that All-Star Weekend has featured the Slam Dunk competition, what is your favorite memory? Maybe Spud in 86, maybe D. Brown pumping up his kicks in 91, the Cedric Ceballos blindfold in 92. Well, for pure drama, it had to be 88, the duel at Chicago Stadium between Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. MJ remembers it like it was yesterday.
I was in my hometown, which a lot of people felt that was a home court advantage in me winning, which I don't disagree with. You know, when you're at home, you're supposed to win.
Well, they're on their feet in Chicago for this man, their man, the defending champion, Michael Jordan.
We were fierce competitors in the field of creativity, and a lot of times that was shown on the basketball court. And in this instance, it was in a dunking arena, and we had our own little stage to showcase. It was the last time that I can remember that the competition was so much of a thrilling to watch, because you knew the appetite or the element of creativity was about to be elevated with the two parties that was involved.
Oh, mercy. From high above the rim. Needs a 48 to tie Dominique Wilkins. A 49 would win for the second year in a row.
I could only think of one way to generate that, and I kind of took a page out of Dr. J's invention or the things that he brought more focus to, which was take off from the free throw line, and I guess I added a little bit to that because of my determination to make that dunk more spectacular. When I did it, I really felt I had an opportunity to get a 50. I didn't know, but I had a good opportunity that I would get a 50.
They gave him a 50. They gave Jordan a 50. He defends his championship.
And I kind of missed those rivalries between Dominique and myself, but we have memories, we have film, we can always reminisce back at those moments. Can we still do that today? I don't know.
Chuck, I'll have to admit I watched that one on TV. I know you were at Chicago Stadium that night. Your recollections of that duel?
Well, it was probably easily the best we've ever seen. And Michael at home court, I don't think you're ever going to beat him. And all those teams out there trying to do so this year, better think about it.
There was a little home cooking possibly going on that night, but a memorable night in slam dunk history. Who's going to win this thing tonight? Jerry Stackhouse is in it. Michael Finley's in it. You know, I'm kind of liking Brent Berry maybe in this thing, or Darrell Armstrong. He'll be back.
NBA All-Star Saturday Night on TNT is brought to you by the Accent, Elantra, and Sonata from Hyundai. Some of the best ideas on the road.
All-Star Weekend on TNT. It's Saturday night, and what a night we have had so far in the Schick rookie game. Damon Stoudamire, 19 points, 11 assists. He was the game's MVP in a 94-92 win for the East. The Foot Locker $1 million shot, Demetrius Houston, unfortunately off the mark, but he does collect $10,000 for his efforts. And in the AT&T Shootout, Tim Legler of the Washington Bullets went over 20 points in every round. That's the first time that has ever happened. He is the AT&T long-distance shootout champion for this year. That was one of the great moments. Now it's time for the slam dunk. You got a favorite, Chuck Daly?
I'm going to go with Jerry Stackhouse, and on a whim, I don't know why, but we both had Legler, by the way.
Yes, we certainly did. We can't admit that now. Stackhouse is good. Finley's good. As I said before, I'm kind of liking Brent Barry, all gangly. He's a dunker, too. We'll be back with the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk after this.
We're going to have an all-new field for the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk, and only the 4th time in 13 years of this event that no former champion is in the field of competitors. Harold Miner won it last year. We have a Miner this year, but it's a different guy. Greg Miner, M-I-N-O-R, of the Boston Celtics. It should be exciting. Right now, let's go over to Craig, who's with a cover boy, just about every magazine you could think of.
He certainly is the biggest story in the NBA, the return of Magic Johnson. Obviously, you love this game. That's why you're at the All-Star.
Oh, yeah, and my wife twisted my arm to say I had to come and bring her. So we're here having a good time. And, you know, whether I was playing or not, I've been here since I've been retired for the last 4 All-Star games. And this is the event to be at. Whether you're playing or participating or not, you still want to be here. It's festive. It's the greatest show on earth. You get to see guys shoot. You get to see the rookie game. And, of course, this is what we all been waiting for, the slam dunk. And then tomorrow, you know that the game is going to be incredible.
Biggest question I think asked this weekend is, will Magic bring the Lakers back? I don't think there's any question that they are now a big contender. Let's go back to the table.
All right, Craig, and they're on their way. And right now, to meet the competitors in the slam dunk, let's go to the public address announcer, Stan Kelly.
And now, here are the competitors in the 1996 Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk. He may be the shortest player in this year's competition, but when he goes up, there's a whole lot of air between him and the hardwood from the Orlando Magic, Darrell Armstrong.
Hello.
The son of Hall of Famer Rick Barry is a high-flying rookie guard with moves all his own from the Los Angeles Clippers. Welcome, Brent Barry. An extraordinary leaper who can throw it down with flair. Welcome, New York Knicks, Doug Christie. This explosive rookie is a quick leaper who has played his way onto the rotation with hustle and drive from the Phoenix Suns, Michael Finley. This powerful swing man, the unsung hero, some great Louisville teams. Now he's brought his energy and athleticism to Boston, Greg Miner. This high-flying rookie leads his team in scoring and excitement. Already one of the best one-on-one players for the Philadelphia 76ers, Jerry Stackhouse. Ladies and gentlemen,
and you beat the competitors. Here are the rules in the slam dunk competition. There will be 2 rounds, and each will be scored separately. Now, in round 1, each player will have 90 seconds to attempt 3 dunks. Does not have to make 3, has to attempt 3 dunks. And then in the finals, the best score of the 2 dunks, not the total, but the best score will win the competition. And, of course, the prize money, $41,000 in all and $20,000 to the winner. Let us meet the judges in this competition. Dave Cowens, an assistant coach with the San Antonio Spurs. Julius Erving, probably invented this competition. George Gervin, who's headed for the Hall of Fame. Artis Gilmore, who started center for the Spurs. They are the judges in this competition. Maurice Lucas from the Portland Trailblazers, a bruising rebounder.
All you need is a point guard there, and you got a squad.
Not a bad squad.
Not a bad one at all.
But what does Maurice Lucas, Dave Cowens, and George Gervin know about dunking?
Well, they've seen a few. Now, the order has been determined by draw, and Brent Barry is going to go first. Tell you what, we saw a lot of these players with some spectacular dunks in the rookie game, didn't we?
Well, not only that, I think that going first is an advantage in some sense because you're pretty warmed up. Well, I talked with the judges, and what they're going to judge is on this entire performance of this first 90 seconds. But Brent Barry, I thought he had a 48 in the rookie game on an alley-oop. Now, that had a little flavor to it. He's just got to make sure he gets 3 dunks in, and then he can go for something spectacular. That wasn't spectacular?
It's the best one we've seen. That's not a bad one either. Remember that Drew plays on the Georgia Tech basketball team and has done pretty well. And today, Georgia Tech defeated North Carolina in a big ACC game in overtime.
He's going to bring out the free throw line. Dr. J invented this dunk, I don't know how many years ago, Reggie, 20 years ago. And Brent Barry is going to do it in the first round. He's bringing it out. But you know what? You have to love it because it's still a tremendous lead.
Did you see his expression? He said, what else do you want? And the fans are showing 10s and 9s in the crowd.
Well, he did step over the line, though, but still, tremendous glide. Hey, Reggie, so did Michael Jordan step over the line. That was incredible. Yeah, it was.
Remember, 50 is the highest you can get. Here is the last one, and the one with the exclamation point.
Look at the power. Oh, hey, that's from further back than Michael Jordan did on his. They got a 50 in the NBA slam dunk contest.
Let's go to Cheryl.
Hey, Brent, I know you have to be pumped. This has to be the first time I've ever seen somebody go out, do the dunk with a sweat jacket on, but you were certainly sensational.
I got to stay warm. I don't got much of a body, so we're trying to stay as warm as possible. But it's tough to come out, Cheryl, and be first because the judges are a little tough on you. And as you can see, the scores are a little bit low. But hopefully I'll be able to get in the second round.
All right, good luck in the second round, partner.
He doesn't have much of a body, but he's got a set of legs on him. Hey, well, the next time he comes, bring your chest, Brent.
All right, here's Darryl Armstrong, 6'1". Now, he only played in a handful of games so far this year. Spanish League All-Star, and he has been tutored by none other than Shaq.
Well, he said that he's got a dunk he's going to bring out if he needs it, that the whole world is going to love. Oh, little fella.
Pretty good start.
Well, he's a little guy. He's only 6'1", and Shaq and Penny campaigned with Rod Thorne to get him in this contest. He only has 1 dunk in a game so far. That's got to tell you something. I'm going to give you a hint of what this dunk is called. He said, Reggie, I got a lot of shoes to fill.
That is his second attempt. And Darryl Armstrong just came off the injured list last Wednesday against the Detroit Pistons.
Well, I had talked to him about it earlier, not being around and being kind of a special guy. Ooh, that would have been good, Reggie. That would have been very nice. He had some serious ups on that.
I think Patrick respects him pretty much after that attempt.
Well, we'll know if it was a fix if next week they put him back on the injured list. And if he tries another one of those dunks, he's going back.
That's no attempt.
That's no attempt. He's got a couple of dunks. He's going to make this, but he's got to get into it. That's the old Spud Webb dunk here. The little guy screams.
Oh, but
he's running out of gas, guys.
A lot of zeal to Darryl Armstrong, and he is like a little more than 10 seconds time running out for it, but he's got time for one more.
And he only needs one more to get in. But if he misses this, he needs 2 more. Oh, he's not going to make it. That's what he gets for being on the injured list all year. He's been tired. He's out of shape. Can't play him 90 seconds in the game. You know what I told him? He said, Reggie, I got this dunk that's going to put me over the top. He said, I'm going to give you a hint. I got a lot of shoes to fill. But you got to make it to the finals. You get there, baby.
Let's see what Shaq and Penny have to say about that. Let's go to Craig.
Well, we got Penny, we got Shaq, we got Nick, we got Dennis, all their teammates. What happened out there, guys?
When he missed that second dunk, that's what hurt him. I think he lost his confidence on that second dunk.
Coach, why don't you pick him up? Give him a big lift.
Daryl, you might have missed 2 dunks, but I love you, man. I love you, man. Man, we love you. You got a little time, but we love you, baby. That's all that counts. You made it, man. We love you, man.
And he did bring a standing ovation on the first one. Let's go back to the table.
All right, and a point total of 25.5. And now we're going to look at Jerry Stackhouse, who is Chuck Daly's pick to win this competition. He had a couple of spectacular dunks in the rookie game from the Sixers.
Well, this guy's got a lot of shoes to fill. Also, people going to North Carolina have him as being the next Michael Jordan, and a lot of pressure on him. I talk with a lot of players, Reggie, and a lot of the guys have him and Michael Finley, along with Brent Barry, as the favorites in this competition. Along with Brent Barry, he's got something to perform the same way. There's about 6, 7, 6, 8 in a row, and they can dunk the ball hard. That's what the crowd likes.
Can you imagine coming in saying you're going to be the next Michael Jordan? I mean, that's the worst curse anyone could have.
I tell you what, that's a lot of pressure. And the worst thing about it is the first time they met head-to-head, Michael outscored him 48 to 9. Wait a minute. But the young fellow was talking stuff. Michael knew that. You don't talk about Michael like that.
He has to, 90 seconds, attempt 3 dunks. He doesn't have to make 3.
He's tired. He's cutting it short. He thinks he's into the finals. I don't know.
He made 4.
Well, that's confident. That's certainly not going to be better than Brent Barry's. No, 45. That was confident.
Now, last year, Harold Miner had a 49.2 in the first round. Isaiah Ryder was second at 44.6. So Barry, between the first and second of last year's first dunks.
Well, that looks hard, Reggie. I say that any dunk that I could do when I played, definitely a 0. Yeah, that's a good way to measure it.
And a 40.
We know how your hops work.
A 40 for Jerry Stackhouse. So Barry with the best score so far at 45.5. And Darrell Armstrong at 6'1" was second at 25.5, and then 40 for Stackhouse. And now Doug Christie representing the New York Knicks, who was traded to the Knicks from the LA Lakers, originally drafted by the Supersonics.
That's a great athlete. He dunks fast, too. You see how quick he got up and then to dunk. He loves to get it in there quick. And we had a chance to talk to him in the locker room before this, and he is very excited.
Kenny Walker of the New York Knicks won the slam dunk back in 1989.
Well, just theatrics is what's going to win it for you. And he's got one called the Moose that he said he's going to bring out. And this is it. Over his head. This is the Moose. This is what he wants to do. He said this is going to put him over the top. And he's got a whole minute to get this right. He's only got 1 dunk to do. He needs to get a good kick. He's got time.
Looks like a couple of field goal kickers in the NFL.
Plus, let's give him time to rest as well.
They're blocked. I don't know if that's exactly what Christie had envisioned with that.
No, I think he wanted to get it off the board, actually, and catch it the timing right, but this is true. I think Stackhouse made a wrong decision back there on that. I think he should have done some more dunks, Reggie, don't you? But, you know, I'm not sure if he did that on purpose. I think he just figured that maybe that's all I had to do. You know, because it seems like he would want to get him more.
He's made his 3 as Christie, and has 1 left here. A routine slam. And that'll be enough for Doug Christie of the New York Knicks, who has great moral support by Patrick Ewing, his teammate.
I think what he's trying to do on this one, he got this one from Kenny Smith, Reggie. We worked on that in Sacramento practice. I think Vinny Del Negro was the first one to teach Kenny Smith that one. Yeah, but only Vinny laid it up when he did his. This is the Moose. This is the one he wanted. But I think, like you said, he wanted it off the glass. If he could have got it off the glass and got one hand where he could have got up on it, it would have been a much more spectacular dunk.
Score of 39.5. Let's send it over to Craig.
Well, Patrick, come on. He deserved at least a 45.
But he didn't get the one he really wanted, did he?
No, he didn't. But I'm here rooting for him. I think he's going to win. I got all my money on him.
That's a lot of money.
That's right.
Okay, let's go to Cheryl.
Thanks a lot, Craig. Well, Doug, you're a little upset. It didn't really go the way you wanted. What were you anticipating?
Just a little bit smoother, you know. Not too much more. Tried to make it to the final round, but I don't know if the 39 is going to get me there. But you know, it's a good time.
All right. Looks like you got a good score. Let's take it back to Dick and the high riser, Danny Ainge.
All right, there the standings so far. The top three advanced, and right now that would be Barry, Stackhouse, and Christie, but we haven't seen Michael Finley. Now, as you know, Grant Hill, with his wrist injury, had to pull out of this, and his prediction was that Finley was going to win the competition.
As was most of the players, Dick. I talked with most of the guys over there on the sideline before the competition started, and the majority had Michael Finley. And we see why on the first dunk. He's just getting loose. He does those in the game. He could just do game dunks and get 50s. That's exactly what he said he was going to come out and do, is just do game dunks for him.
Tomahawk.
He had one in the rookie game that was amazing. Dominique Wilkins made that one right there famous.
You get the feeling already that Finley is going to move on to the finals. Three will move on.
Well, he's doing something that nobody else did. He's got flavor, and he's playing to the crowd. And he's done all dunks. Hey, that will definitely get him to the finals. No question. He did a Dominique Wilkins dunk, then he got a 50-yard. He did a Michael Jordan dunk that Michael Jordan did in Seattle. He did all the dunks that all the great ones have done in the past. Right here is the one that he did. Who did he copy on that? That's a Spud Webb dunk.
No, this is... Yeah, that was a Spud Webb dunk. Spud Webb, Dominique, and a Michael Jordan.
This is called resting on your laurels as far as Michael Finley is concerned. And he was pretty impressive, emphatic with that tomahawk slam. And a 45. So Michael Finley just a half a point behind Drew Barry, who still has the highest score at 45.5. But Finley will move ahead of Christie and Stackhouse with one more to go. And that's going to be Greg Minor of the Boston Celtics.
Oh, my goodness. Now that has some hop. That was impressive, Reggie. Now, one guy thought that this guy would win it of the people I talked with, but that is pretty impressive, that first dunk.
A little bit of juice on that one. Kind of a little shake up top. But I didn't think he got up that high on that particular dunk.
None of the players in this year's field have competed in this contest before, so this is their first moment in the sun, and they're looking pretty good at it.
Well, I think Minor, all he has to do is beat Stackhouse's 40, Dick, and I think that he's already done that.
Drew Barry and Michael Finley are already in, so we have 2/3 of the finalists all set here in this Nestle Slam Dunk contest. Brent Barry, that is.
And he might have just pushed Stackhouse out of it. Stackhouse did make a mistake, maybe, and not take another dunk. Maybe got a little better point.
So can Minor surpass the 40 of Jerry Stackhouse? That's what at issue right now.
He's got to. He did a better job.
Height. Look how high he got. Ooh, his head was almost at the rim level.
Could you do that one, Reggie, in your prime?
Off a trampoline.
And a 41.5. And Greg Minor with a 41.5. And he'll become the third member to move along. So, Brent Barry, Michael Finley, Greg Minor have all advanced. And the finals of the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk. Let's take a look at Brent Barry and Michael Finley and Greg Minor. First Barry with the highest score.
Well, Reggie, you know, this guy, he reminds me that he's the closest thing to Pistol Pete. One of my favorite players as a kid growing up. I don't think Pistol could do that.
And with his jacket on. But this guy, Finley, had some authority. He had some hop, and then he got a little shake go along with it. And that goes along big to the crowd and the judges.
Well, and Minor jumps so easy, but I think he's going to have to come up with something a little bit special to get by Finley. Maybe he's got something up his sleeve.
We'll see.
Now there'll be two dunks, and the best score of the two dunks will count for the championship. As we said, Harold Minor won last year, all new field this time. And Greg Minor will go first, followed by Michael Finley and Brent Barry. Minor had a 41.5 in the first round.
So what do you think? Guys bring out all the tricks.
I think you got to bring it out, Reggie. I think there's nothing. This is it, man. You got to get your best stuff right now.
You got to get by this to get to the championship.
They counted that as a miss, but they only take the best dunk, so he can still do something good.
So Minor is going to have to come through with something big on his last dunk, and now Michael Finley, who had 45 as his score in the first round. Of course, this will be judged totally separately than the first round. Finished just 0.5 of a point from Brent Barry, who had the top score.
Now, Michael Finley, Dick, he told me before the competition that Danny Manning has described the dunk with 2 balls. If he needs it, he may go to it, but I don't know if he's going to need it. I think if he feels like he needs a 50, he may pull out something he's never tried before.
Danny, I like what he told you. He said, when you asked him, he said, what are you going to do early? He said, Danny, I'm just going to do game-style dunks, stuff that I can do in the game. And he's one of the few guys that can do this stuff in the game with a guy underneath.
He does it in the game. He maybe leads the league in dunks.
They gave Miner a 2. A 2.
A 2.
A 2.
We could get a 2, Danny.
I know. Hey. That's more than you deserve, because I could do that.
A 2.
Well, let's not stretch this a little bit.
All you got to do is touch the rim. Can you get the rim?
Not at my age. Maybe about 2 years ago, Reggie. Here's Finley.
It's smart not to go for that because it was a bad ball. Could have messed himself up. He has to get a lot more height on that ball.
First winner of this competition was Larry Nance back in 1984.
See how low the ball was coming off the rim? That hurt his chances of making that dunk.
Warren Moon of Turner Sports and the Minnesota Vikings on hand.
Well, Michael Finley maybe should have kept the pressure on. Maybe should have done one of the Dominique or the Michael Jordan type of dunks just to keep pressure on Brent Barry.
Well, you're not really rushed. Why not wait for the perfect ball? You see how low that ball came off, and it actually skipped the front of the rim. Probably threw his timing off.
You think the door is open for Brent Barry here?
I think it's wide open. It's like a barn door. Let's drive an airplane through it.
Well, 7 points on that attempt.
Well, right now, Brent Barry has to put pressure on him. I think he has to come out with a good dunk and try to post a high score. He may not even have to do a second dunk if he gets a good dunk right here.
Danny, not only that, Brent Barry has a crowd. Listen to him. They're already starting to cheer for Brent Barry. If he does anything spectacular right now, he'll have everybody on his side. Uh-oh, 3 misses.
And Reggie's saying, what about it? Brent Barry, you're right about the crowd, Reggie, because he gave him a little thrill at the rookie game, and so that was his entree into this competition.
Listen, he had it all set up for him. You know, you got to take advantage of your opportunity.
He doesn't need a 50 dunk. He needs to get about a 45 and put the pressure on the other 2 guys, and maybe he can win by forfeit.
Well, he gets an 8.
Yeah, now these guys can put the pressure back on him.
He got an 8 points, so really, in all intents and purposes, nothing for anyone in that first one. And now, remember, the best score of the 2 dunks, and you got to figure that every one of these guys is going to come up with a better score on their final dunk.
I happen to think that because everyone missed, that they might be a little bit tight. They may not go for the big one right now. They may just want to go and get one in since they missed the other one.
Same order, Greg Miner, Michael Finley, and then Brent Barry will go last.
Very solid dunk, but nothing spectacular. He was just making sure that he made it.
Good point you had. You know, with the pressure on like this, with everyone having poor first efforts.
Right.
You don't want to come away with 0. So that was Miner's effort. Now, Finley. There it is again, Greg Miner.
Reggie, you say that's not spectacular. I wish I could have done that.
Hell, I can't even draw a man that can do that.
In last year's finals, Harold Miner won with a score of 46. Jamie Watson finished 3rd at 26, and a 40.8 for Greg Miner. And that's what Finley and Barry have to beat.
Well, again, I really feel that the guys, they got to come out with a good dunk. But I don't know. I don't know if I go for the big one.
He needs to do something he can convert for sure. And Michael Finley's dunks that he did in the first round got him a 45. So I think if he can do one of those, Reggie.
A lot of people, as you mentioned, around the NBA think that Finley was going to win this contest, including Grant Hill. Here's his last chance.
I got news for you.
A good one. A good chance.
He could get a 50 off that one. The difference is, it's not the dunk. It's after he caught it, he windmilled it. Now that's what's hard. It takes a lot of upper body strength to do that.
Reggie, that's really a hard dunk, but that's not a 50. I'm sorry. We'll see here in a second, but there's no way that's a 50.
Danny, when you look at this dunk, watching when he gets up the extension, and not everybody could just dunk it, but he takes it back all the way around his head and dunks it again. That's a tough dunk.
Oh, I know that's a tough dunk.
46.2 is the score. So he didn't get the 50.
But very close.
But he's got 46-2 and right now has taken the lead over Greg Minor, who had a 40.8. Right now, let's send it over to Cheryl.
Thanks a lot, Dick. Now, Michael, I know you have to feel a little bit relieved. You missed your first one, came back strong, put you in a good position.
Yeah, the first one, I didn't really have nothing planned. I just wanted to get a good dunk down. And the first ball, I went off the backboard. I should have went for it, but I didn't. And just got a bad bounce, and I missed. But luckily, I made that one.
No thanks to Danny Ainge, I'm sure. All right, let's go back to you guys.
So now, as you look at the scoring, Finley has the lead with his second dunk, 46.2. Minor had a 40.8, and now it remains for Brent Barry.
See, this is what we're talking about. He's got a lot of pressure on 46 is a lot, and he's got to come up with a serious dunk right now. What if he does the free throw line? The free throw line got him the 45. I think so. Way to the crowd. Going for it. Not only that, the guys at the sideline, all the other players are telling him to go for that one. That's the one they want to see. They're all setting up for it right now.
His buddy would go for a combination Michael Jordan, Dr. J, risky dunk if he needed it.
I think he got it, Reggie. I think he got it. Yeah. I think that's a 47. It's going to be very close. It is going to be close. Didn't have the rhythm, didn't have the spectacularness of the Finley dunk, but definitely, you know, when you take off from way out there, look at the stride. And we all talked about it. He's gangly, he's long arms, long legs, and he's got some glide.
And he wins it with a 49. 49 for Brent Barry. And I mentioned Drew. Drew had 9 3-pointers when Georgia Tech beat Carolina in overtime. So what a big day for the Barry family today, as Dr. J, along with Dave Collins, Maurice Lucas, the 1996 Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk champion is Brent Barry. Drew had a big game in Tech's win, and Brent had a high score in the first round and played very well in the rookie game and wins the slam dunk with an impressive total of 49 points. That was more than Harold Miner got to win it last year.
He was definitely the crowd favorite.
And here are the final standings in the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk. Brent Barry wins it from the Los Angeles Clippers. Michael Finley was second. And there is the order of finish. And just a few moments ago, Barry Crossland, the director of marketing for Nestle Crunch Confectionery, presented the winning trophy and $20,000 to Brent Barry for winning the Slam Dunk. An all-new field, and Brent Barry the champion. Right now, let's send it over to Craig with our champ.
Well, Brent Barry has won Slam Dunk championships before in high school and also the big one in college. And you got to the Final Four and won that one. But this is a whole nother level, being the Slam Dunk champion of the NBA.
It is. I mean, just an unbelievable day. You know, I watched my brother Drew today at Georgia Tech beat North Carolina, and then I get to come out and play against, you know, all these rookies and then get a chance to slam in the dunk contest. And it's a day I'll remember for a long time, Craig.
You had a lot of strategy today.
I did. I didn't do a lot of the dunks that I had planned. You know, I kind of choreographed my stuff to music, and then they didn't let us play it. So, you know, next year maybe we'll get it together a little bit, and I'm looking forward to defending it again.
I was standing over by the judges when you did the one from the free throw line. Julius Irving said to me, he goes, this kid won it in the first round. In fact, I've only seen 2 other people do it from the free throw line, Michael Jordan and myself.
Well, like I was telling you, Craig, in the first round, you have to come out with something really good, especially being the first dunker. And I was first tonight, and I had to come out with something strong to get a good score. And that score got me into the second round, so I figured I'd just do it again.
Dr. J, Air Jordan, what Barry? What's your nickname now?
They call me Bones on the team, so I just stick with that.
Okay, Bones, good one today. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Back to the table.
All right, and what a great night we had of competition. Reggie, how do you put it all in perspective now?
I don't know. It's pretty amazing. I'm real happy for Brent Barry because, you know, hey, he's the first white guy who's won the dunk contest. That's huge. You know, it dispels a heck of a myth.
That'll be in the record books, perhaps. Danny, your view on everything we've seen.
Well, it was great. You know, Tim Legler was a sentimental favorite of all of the players because he's played with so many different teams, played in the CBA, had the new baby and everything. And Brent Barry was definitely the crowd favorite here tonight. And I think that affected the judges as well.
You know, I tell you what, all 3 competitions went down to the wire. The rookie game went down to the wire. the three-point shootout did, and, of course, the slam dunk at the end, and people just have smiles on their faces. It has been a tremendous competition. Glad to be part of it as Tim Legler of the Washington Bullets wins the three-point shootout. And, of course, Brent Barry wins. A great day for the Barry family. That's the story from down here at courtside. Lynn sent it upstairs now to Ernie.
All right, thanks a lot, Dick. Yeah, you can call him Brent or you can call him Bones. I think that's going to catch on nationwide now. A great night here, and Huey Brown joins Chuck Daly and me now. And Huey, you guys started the night with the Schick rookie game, and it was really tremendous. A 2-point win for the East. Your thoughts on what we saw earlier tonight?
Well, I thought the athleticism was terrific. The way that the players went after one another, the unselfish play, some great passing, and then athletic ability to finish. And what you really liked was the fact that it came down to the close play, and then key people, guys that you were looking for, the hope that they would do something sensational, got it done. For me, it was just a high level of play.
All 16 players in the game scored, and Damon Stoudamire of the Raptors was the game's MVP. Chuck, what has stuck out for you tonight?
The marvelous display of young talent in all aspects, the rookie game and in the three-point shootout and, of course, the slam dunk. Younger players coming along, keeping this league alive, and keeping this weekend the fun that it is.
Now, what do we look for tomorrow when the other guys take the court, the All-Star game tomorrow afternoon here at the Alamo Dome? Chuck or Huey?
I'll tell you what I did. I coached it 1 year. And what you do is you get a basket full of $100 bills. Says you're going to win 12,000 of these. Go out and play defense, because the team plays the best defense is going to win.
I like that strategy, by the way.
It works.
Yeah. No, I think we got the high wire act coming out tomorrow. More sensational things. What you always see in the NBA All-Star are guys making pinpoint passing, spectacular. They'll have an easy play, but they'll do a 360 and end it off with a strong, powerful move. We really have great talent on both sides. We got the greatest players in the world here, and it should be a very enjoyable night in San Antonio.
And 36,000 fans here at Alamo Dome certainly got a taste for what it's going to be like tomorrow when they play the All-Star game on NBC. Now let's talk about what's coming up on Turner Sports in the coming week. Yes, again, TNT and TBS cranking up next week. Tuesday night, Dallas at Houston on TNT. Wednesday night, the Knicks and the Hornets. Wednesday night, TBS. Friday night, it's the Denver Nuggets and the Charlotte Hornets on TNT. Again, a reminder, tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, NBC will have all the action from the 46th annual NBA All-Star Game. Coming up next on TNT, Who's the Man, starring Dennis Leary. For Chuck and Hubie and Bob and Dick and Reggie and Cheryl and Danny and Craig, I'm Ernie Johnson. Thanks a lot for joining us here on TNT tonight. All-Star Saturday night. It's been a kick. Thanks a lot. We'll see you from San Antonio.